I thought he works for the Department of Transportation, so I was like, "Are you gonna work the parade?" He's like, "Man, I'm gonna be in the parade." So
That's
the whole
crazy.
time we were waiting for him to pass by, and then when we saw him, we went crazy. But yeah, that's my guy Don Melion.
I love
Yeah,
it.
man, it's been great, a great week as champion. But I've been sick all week. But happy to be here, kicking with y'all. I might have to dip a little early
Yep.
because I'm not feeling that well. But I did want to come up here and chop it up with you guys.
Yeah. How you doing, Apollo?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm a little tired today, but I had a long day and not too much sleep last night, which is my fault. You know what I mean? But
What
you
you was
know,
doing last night, bro?
I at this point I don't even remember. Me and my wife were just up being ridiculous. You know what I mean? Nothing like that. Nothing like that. But after sometimes when the kids go to sleep, you could actually just chill. You know what I mean? So that's what we did. We was just chilling. We was watching some show on Netflix. But
Netflix.
yeah. So
They was
we wasn't
Netflix
we
and
wasn't Netflix
chilling.
and then chill. Oh god. I won't right into that one. Anyway, everything is good. Everything is good, man. Everything's
That's good, man. No, I feel you. Like it's just one of those days. Like I don't know what it was, but like I woke up, man, I can't wait till the show tonight. And then all of a sudden throughout the day, I just felt like more and more exhausted. Like, why? Like, what is happening? Like, why? Like, did I go from excitement to like, man, I'd be mad excited to go to bed mad early today? You know, like it was a massive change. But since we're not going to be on the show for a while, figured we had to be on. We had to chop it up. We had to hang out with our crew at Barrel Bourbon and talk good stuff. Some of you guys have known that, you know, we have had Barrel on before. This brand right here, you'll remember that logo. But they sent some new pours for us to try out today. And two of them are their black tops, which, if you know anything about Dovetail, these are $200 a piece bottles. So thankful for them. They'll be on a little bit later. But I wanted to talk about the parade first. Because there's so many levels of things that we can talk about. The first was all of us were supposed to go. We're all supposed to celebrate, hang out. Just didn't work out. I didn't get to go. Apollo didn't get to go. Al got to go. But all of a sudden they started closing streets left and right. So our chat is blowing up from like everybody's watching the parade together to every man for himself. Maybe we'll see you later. So Al, walk us through like your experience of like the crowds and how just ridiculous it was. Like the photos probably don't do it justice, but even those just showed like a sea of people.
So the crazy part is that outside. So all right, let me walk you through. So we got into the parade. I was one of the lucky people that got in, but I felt like they shut it off relatively quickly. So there was more people outside the parade than there were like inside the parade. Like I thought, so I was in the ticker tape part of the parade, which is the narrowest part of the parade. And I thought that I was going to be absolutely squished and packed in like sardines in there. And we had plenty of space. We weren't squished at all. Like there was literally plenty of space. So I think they cut it off a little bit early, or maybe like the north side was, you know, a little bit more packed than my side, the other side of the street. So because I did see like some barricades fall over, but I don't know where that happened because it wasn't the case where I was at. So when I left the parade, I was like, holy crap, this is insane out here. So that's where you saw all those crazy pictures where you see people hanging on the scaffolds and all that. The majority of those pictures are from outside of the parade route.
right.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I saw people like this one girl pulling up on a like sign from the store and like pulling the O or the A off, and I was just like, bro, there's videos of that. You know how expensive it's gonna be if they fine you? Like
Yo, that just
crazy.
like the girl who stole a garbage can, the
Hold
orange
on,
orange
hold on,
yellow
hold
garbage.
on, hold on. I'm gonna let you talk, but that was already gonna be our
Nah, run that back.
nah. Run that back. I actually have
Yo,
it queued up right here as the first thing. I've never done a nah run it back this early in the show, but it was my nah run that back, and it's this right here because it came out that she makes $300K a year salary.
I was about to say, like, she
And
definitely
so my
makes
man
bread.
Rick said, $300K a year, you got to find a way to get one legitimately or not do this on camera. $300K.
Bro, they were
lost her
selling them
job,
for $170. They were selling them for $170.
right? Like, she was straight up on video. JP Morgan has released her from her job. Just crazy. So keep going, Apollo.
No, I'm just saying I immediately, once I saw that, I said she's not going to be able to escape this, because this is going to go viral, and it was going viral very, very early. And as soon as it started to go viral, and then there was another angle, I'm like, if she's on camera doing this, I'm like, you're not going to get away with that. It's not going to work out for you. And here we are. She got fired. It's just people are doing crazy stuff, and they all on camera, man.
Hey, my guy Knicks and Dimes, what
Knicks
up?
and Dimes, what's good?
What up?
Bro?
What up? What
Yo,
up?
let me tell you my entire parade story.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yes.
So I flew into Delaware because my sister lives there, and we drove up Wednesday night, right? And driving into New York, crossing that GW is always a nightmare, if any of you guys can relate. This night was an even bigger nightmare. They had shut down the GW to one lane. So we were stuck on that joint for mad long. I didn't get to we stayed at my mom's house in Harlem, and we didn't get there until like 1 a.m. And we had to wake up at 3:15 a.m. because we had to be out the door by 4 to be downtown by 5 a.m. in order to get into the parade that started at 10 a.m. So literally, I go hop in the shower at like 1 a.m. I come out to go to sleep. The shower completely woke me up. I'm tossing and turning until 3 a.m. I didn't get any sleep. So now it's 3 a.m. and we start the trek down to downtown to get on to go get it online. And when we get there, there's already a line. There's already a sea of people there. At 5, I think people just like, because the clubs in New York don't let out till 4 in the morning. So I think people were just out the night before and they just went right after the club. And so we get there now. Mind you, we no one drank coffee, no one had breakfast, because we're all afraid that if you got to use the bathroom, you're gonna lose your spot in line.
Yeah.
So everyone's running on fumes and on 2 hours of sleep. So at 6:30, they start moving us in, and then luckily we got to the front of a section, so we were like on the barricade. So worth the trip. But if you didn't get there by 5 a.m., like it was going to be hard for you to get into the parade.
Yeah.
And that's why Lee couldn't get in with me, man. I was waiting for him, and then like once I started moving, I was like, I can't. There's nothing I can do, and we ended up getting in. And then the parade didn't start till 10:30. It was a little bit delayed. Yeah. So my cousin was running on fumes. He was about to faint. We had to save him a few times. That was kind of crazy. But then when the parade happened, it was all worth it, man. It was cool. Mike Brown came and passed right past us, slapped us fives. Dylan Jones, which most people probably don't know, he came by with his boy and poured me up some champagne out of nowhere. It was kind of cool. Got a good view of JB. Like, the parade was awesome. It really, like, for me, cemented that we won this chip. Like that really put the bow on the season for me. I was very, very happy about it.
Honestly, like so at first I was bummed I didn't get to go. Not mostly, solely for like the fact that it's a Knicks parade, but like it was going to be like the KOT crew all together. That was the biggest thing for me, was all of us doing this together, and being at that. And then when more people weren't able to go, Fritz wasn't able to go, Paulo wasn't able to go, I wasn't as devastated. But what did kind of make me go, okay, was when I watched it, I was like, I feel like unless you slept there, like some people I know, like from where a lot of those people went, I wouldn't have thought it was worth it. And I feel like it would have kind of tainted the experience for me. If I was all the way back there, really being able to see anything, not being able to be with the KOT crew, I think I would have been disappointed in the amount of money that I had to spend. And to Lee's point, Al will be back. His camera was acting up, so he's dropping out and coming back in. So I felt like when I watched it with my boys at home, I was like, all right, at least we're in the comfort of our own home. We're eating, drinking, not passing out. You know, I'm seeing all these people on video, you know, knocking out, passing out, and everything like that. And then they did the ceremony at City Hall. And I was like, man, that would have been the move. You know, like that would have been the move. I know that they gave out like 600 tickets or whatever for City Hall, but then even not, like, if you were going to camp out, you were going to do all that stuff, like, you might have missed some of the parade, but you would have seen the whole ceremony. And to me, I feel like the ceremony was like the best part of the whole thing, was watching the keys being given, watching players of the past being celebrated, players, you know, and fans getting the credit and everything like that. I thought that would have been the coolest experience. But at the end of the day, didn't get to go. There was some cool points out there, but like at the end of the day, watching it with my boys and my wife really meant a lot to me, because I look at, you know, even what Lee was going through, you know, and at the time that Lee was dealing with getting there, and then Al texting like, yo, we gotta go, you know, my family, you know, so, you know, someone needs, you know, to get some fumes. Like,
if you would have went with the boys, like, I don't know how like kids would have enjoyed that. Like, it was tough. That would have been tough for kids.
Bathroom breaks.
That's
food,
why.
water.
That's why I ended up not going myself, was because
it was like too crazy.
It would have been too crazy, and there's no way I would have been bringing my kids around like all of that ruckus just that early in the morning. Like that, they are not morning kids at all.
Yeah.
So then when I got through at 6:30 to the front of the barricade. So we're sitting at the front of the barricade from 6:30 to 10:30 doing absolutely nothing. They didn't allow you to bring in chairs. They didn't allow anything. So you're just sitting there with nothing to do for 4 hours. That 4 hours was long, man. Yeah. So for kids, I was like, yo, kids wouldn't have been able to do this right now.
Now, my boys would have been, you know, and I'm always going to choose my boys first, you know, and my wife, you know. Yeah. So as soon as they would have been tired, I would have been out. But yeah, you know, it was cool to see, you know, New York on that stage, though, you know, like the New York Knicks being celebrated, especially because they didn't have a parade like that, you know, back in the 70s when we were champions, you know, so being able to do that and then even hear those players be mentioned and celebrated, it was like, all right, this is dope. You know, I appreciate that. Miss Nixon Ish was there at 3 a.m. You crazy, girl. 3 a.m.
Wow.
I can't do that. But I'm excited because throughout the episode, we're going to have different friends of ours from throughout the season, and people that we've connected with that have either been sponsors or anything like that for the show or for the watch parties, come up and kind of just share their experience of either the parade, highlight of the season, what was like the most impactful outside of the playoffs moment for you as a Knicks fan this season that you're looking to see what next season can be like. So before we do that, I want us to talk about it. Like, what is a moment pre-postseason, you know, like during the actual season, that was the highlight for you guys as a New York Knicks fan? It could be one, it could be two, but one or two moments that really stuck out to you throughout the season that made you go, man, even if we didn't win a chip, that moment would have stuck with me.
That's a good question.
I know it's a curveball.
Need some time. Do you have one, Phil?
No.
Yes. So one of mine is the game where Tyler Kolek went down into the G League during the day, and then he came back and played with the Knicks at night in the fourth quarter, and then put up buckets in the fourth quarter after having a dominant G League performance. You know, it just showed the grit and the like commitment to the team that Tyler Kolek has. And to see all the guys, like not a single player from our starting lineup were not on their feet cheering for him every single bucket he got, knowing what he had already done during the day. So that to me was like a real cool point of seeing, okay, this is what actual camaraderie looks like. This is what a team that actually like goes to war for each other looks like. Like, this might be a small victory to somebody else, but Tyler just put up crazy numbers in the G League, came up, and now all of his guys are rooting him on. So to me, I think that was such a really cool memory for me, and just being able to see what was there. Lee just said, if we didn't win the chip, my memory/moment still would have been meeting and hanging out with Phil in Dallas, vibing with him at the Mavs game, and being blessed to have lunch with him in fellowship. Man, that was such a fun time, Lee. Like, seriously, hanging out with Lee that day, taking photos of Lee before the game, and then like connecting with him and his dad at the game. That will seriously be one of those moments that I'm like, man, not many things in Dallas besides, In and Out, the Village Church, and Lee Escobedo are really worth going to, but that was worth it. That was definitely worth it for me. So, all right, you guys think of anything?
Yeah, I got one for
Okay.
the team and one for myself. One
Okay.
for the team was the game when we played the Celtics, and Jaylen Brown was like going crazy, and then we threw Diawara on him, and then he just started.
Yo, I was gonna say that. You stole my. I swear to God, that's crazy, bro. That's crazy. Yeah,
it's the Harlem connection, bro. It's the Harlem connection.
That's crazy.
my bad. But yeah, that was to me. I was really in here jumping up and down watching him do that. Like, I was yelling, like, yeah, that's like, I was really into it, because personally, I have my opinions about Jaylen Brown. You know what I mean? And as a Knicks fan, he's a Celtic. You know what I mean? You gotta have that kind of, the attitude towards him. So, that hit home, and for it to be Diawara, I was really happy with that one. So for that moment, and the other one was for my birthday, of course, going to the Nets game and watching them devour the Nets. I think at that time it was the largest deficit in history or something like that. When we played them, I think it was like 40. We beat them by like 47 points or something like that. But for me, that was a good one, because I was actually in the building for that one with my wife. So shout out to her for that.
All right. So real quick, Lee said another highlight was this Knicks season brought in Apollo, B, Al, and Ra to the team. Quadruple blessings. So
That's
facts.
awesome. Yeah.
Facts.
Xavier says the NBA Cup would have been his.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I was pretty hyped for the NBA Cup. You know what's crazy? I was more hyped for when we beat the Spurs the last time, because we snapped. They had like a 19-game win streak or something, right?
Oh yeah.
That I was very hyped after that game. That game made me feel like, yo, this team actually does have a switch or another gear, or they're close to reaching, or like this is like what their ceiling could be. I felt like I finally saw it after that game, and I remember doing the Nick Life Crisis show. I think that was before we started under KOT, but I was super hyped in that Nick Life Crisis episode. So that was definitely a game that stood out for me. And then the Diawara one stood out for me a lot, because I am so high on Diawara. I think for this Knicks team, I think we need to hit a couple of doubles or triples or home runs in the draft. And I think just for any team that's trying to build long-term success in the NBA, they have to hit on these rookie scale contracts that are, allow you the flexibility to build around the team, because they have, they're vastly outproducing the dollar amount that they're getting paid, right? Yeah. So that if you hit on guys like that, the chances of you winning the championship, I think, increases. And so I think it's important for the Knicks to hit on some players like that. Kind of wish we would have drafted some guys, but I understand why we didn't, and I know we'll get into that later. But I think we also did come out of the draft with some good pieces as well. But that's why I'm super high on Diawara. I think he's going to be a great Knick. I think he definitely has starter. He will be a starter, and hopefully he can reach all-star level as well.
Yeah, and I think to me, besides the one I mentioned, regular season highlight to me was watching how many people's anti-Mike Brown takes continue to have to like retract and watching that onion unravel, because just everything. Even when you talk about Diawara and you see the development of a guy that just came in, you see the moment that I talked about, Kolek coming in. You think about the fact that these young guys actually got a shot this year, and they got a shot on a championship run. Like, this isn't like they played because we sucked. They played because we were great, and our team was great, and our coach was great. So being able to see Mike Brown take this team of young guys that haven't really gotten a shot, new guys that are just entering the league, guys that have to completely re-evolve as a player. The way of playing basketball as a Knick, from Karl Anthony Towns to Jordan Clarkson, and just seeing the evolution of all of us under Mike Brown was a beautiful thing to watch. Like, I think, he did an amazing job. I love the fact that he's now getting more compliments than hate. He's getting the kudos he deserves. He's getting applause at restaurants, standing ovations wherever he goes. I think it's well-deserved. So that was one of my favorite moments during the season. So, and yeah, she said we were a team of misfits that understood the assignment. I love that. Like, not many people out the gate thought that the Knicks were going to be what New York Knicks fans believed we could be. And now everyone is singing the praise that we all thought, should have been declared from the get-go. Don Melion said one of my favorites was the reinvention of Jordan Clarkson. Yep. Him sticking with the program, transforming into a key contributor and positive locker room presence. Yes, and no longer a defensive liability, once that evolution started. That's a lot of evolutionizing, to do in one season.
That, what? That's funny, because that's actually it's actually kind of a favorite moment of mine too, and it's for a different reason. It's because I had to eat crow on that, because that episode, I think that's when Apollo took a couple of weeks off, and we had Recap on.
Yeah.
And that was my first time like meeting Recap after, watching him for years on YouTube. So that's like a core memory of mine. Like, yo, I got to be on the show with Recap. But I remember the question you posed was like, are we done with Clarkson? And I was like, I'm good on Clarkson. Like, I don't ever need to see him play another minute. And you and Recap were on me. Y'all were like, no, Al, like, he can contribute. He has something to give. And I remember arguing with you guys. And then when Clarkson started picking it up, I remember tweeting that Recap, and I was like, you was right, I was wrong.
I love that, because we all have those moments. I think that's the best part about content creation, is like, you can always go back and go, dang, I was wrong. There's moments that you can go, dang, I was right. But those dang, I was wrong moments, you're glad to be wrong in those moments. You're glad to see that, the Giannis trade didn't happen, and that Cat evolved to be the best player, that he could be in New York, leaps and bounds from what he was in Minnesota. I have a good friend named Phil. He's the owner of Brother Justice, and he was texting me, yesterday after the Julius Randle trade and everything like that happened, and he's a big Minnesota fan, and he was like, I'm really glad for you. I don't think Cat would have ever evolved into the player that he is now under the New York Knicks. I mean, under the coaching and staff of Minnesota. And I'm really glad to see that it happened with you guys in New York, and that you guys are able to celebrate. I feel like you guys are setting the precedence of what real basketball is again, and you're setting the standard for other teams everywhere. You guys are the new, standard of elite basketball. And I was like, that's right, we are, and I appreciate it as well. So I'm ecstatic. Let's see if anyone else in the chat has said anything. And we will see if anyone else has any other moments before we bring up Brett from Barrel, because he's a Knicks fan. So we also get to ask these questions with him, and we don't have to have that awkward pause between whiskey and basketball, because he's a Knicks fan, and that makes him one of the best in the industry. All right. So being in New York City for game 4 and 5 was insane. Seeing everyone in New York wearing Knicks gear and the blue and orange energy was something I'll never forget. Facts. Like,
Nixon got the Knicks championship tat, man. Phil, you getting one of those?
I want to. So my guy Mason, but I don't really have much space. So I hit up my guy Mason. I was like, okay, what can we do to blend like something new and a cover up? Because I'll cover up something. And so So him and I are going to talk, and his style is very unique and different than whatever else is doing.
Dope.
So I'm excited because he's one of my favorites, and he could do a really, really dope piece if I can find the room. I love the Knicks. I'm not getting a Knicks face tat though. Not happening. No Tekashi 6ix9ine over here. Not gonna be that guy. But let's see. How about how a bunch of Knicks players got snubbed from all the regular season awards and no first NBA team selections, and we won none. And what? And we none of them.
Yeah, probably skip the week. Skip the week, yeah. And none of them except Wemby.
Oh yeah. That's facts. That's facts. And none of them won a championship. Speaking of Wemby, I gotta give a shout out real quick to my guy at Heat Check Apparel. Because he knew this was the last episode, so he sent me over this shirt, and I absolutely love it. Kind of freaks my son out a little bit, my 5-year-old, so he doesn't really like looking at it.
Let me see it. I can't really see it.
So this is the Brunson Attack shirt, and then you got the half Wemby, half Alien getting stomped on right there. I love it. He released it before the series, and I was like, man, that's fire. So he ended up sending it over for me to wear to the episode today. It's honestly awesome. One of my favorites, being able to see Wemby get stomped out.
Heat-Check's got some heat, man. If y'all haven't gotten the merch,
drop that link in the chat.
I'm gonna say Heat-Check got heat, bro. They got heat for real.
Yeah, they're really, really good and just solid people. Like, really dig what we're doing here, and hopefully we'll be collabing more. Use the code Knicks10 to get a promo, and he'll take care of you guys. Without further ado, I'm gonna bring up my guy Barrel Brett, and then we're gonna start having those little 10 minutes. Share your favorite memory of the season and how you enjoyed being a champion. And we're gonna start with one of my guys. That was a sponsor of our watch parties. His name's Craig Tucker. He's got a brand called In My Lifetime. I'll let him share a little bit about that. But first and foremost, I'm going to bring up my guy, Barrel Brett. What up?
What up? Congratulations, gentlemen, first and foremost.
Likewise.
Still celebrating for everyone, I hope, a little bit.
I like the hat. I appreciate that.
Of course, man. Yeah, I was like, are we going to be talking about the draft today, or
we will a little bit later? We'll
reminisce about the.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. But first, before we have a pour, we were asking, like, what is one of your favorite moments pre-championship, like during the season, that you were like, I'm going to remember this moment, like regardless of whether we win a chip or not. This was like a highlight moment as a Knicks fan. You
were the one that basically had all the chips in the table after kind of going through the first podcast with you. You were the first and only one that came out. We're like, I think we're going to win this championship. I want to have this evening put together. So that's I know it's not an actual moment during the Knicks, but I can't speak for anybody saying that anyone thought the Knicks were like bona fide 100% going to win a championship. And maybe Apollo and maybe Al were involved too. But I only heard it from your mouth. And so that was for me. I was like, all right, maybe I can start believing. It feels on.
That's awesome. So for those of you guys who don't know, earlier in the season, Brett was on and we showcased some different pours of Barrel. I don't even remember what month that was.
It was against the Hawks. It was probably like 10 games left in the season or something like that. And we were debating who the toughest matchup would basically be. And I think it was like Celtics. Yep. I said the Cavs. And I'm blanking on who you said, Apollo, but I think
I don't remember.
I think it was unified about Celtics. So
yeah. And I remember as soon as we got off that episode, I texted Brett and I was like, all right, so this is when the end of the season would be if we win the finals. I think we need to lock down a blacktop episode for Barrel because I think it's going to happen. And he was like, let me talk to the staff and see if we can do it. I said, all right, I need to line up a brand. And since you're a Knicks fan, I want you to be there. I was like, because we're going to win that chip. And so he was like, all right, bro. So as soon as we like got there, he was like, you prophesied it. I was like, bro, I believe it.
You know? Spoke it to existence, man.
It's good. All right. So before we bring up my guy to talk about his moment, let's go into this first pour. Because we've had this one in a different variation before. This is, the this year's release, the 038. barrel 038, 116.96 proof. It's got that whole like red, white, and blue. This is like for the 250 years. I'm guessing that we're seeing a lot of in the barrel in the bourbon community. How's this one? Like, when was the actual release date on this one?
This was probably a month or so ago,
Okay.
maybe a little bit less. So this is to kind of back up a little bit. So the birth of barrel is really this concept, having batches. So obviously it started batch 1, we're at batch 38. It's actually the 40th release. So there was like a 7A, a 7B, where they tried to repeat, and then there was an 8A and an 8B. So this is technically the 40th release of what we've done for the batches, but this is really the foundation of how the brand started. Tripp, who's our master blender and kind of chief scientist, and then Joe Beatrice, the founder, they never wanted to cask finish whiskeys. Their concept was like, okay, we have all these barrels, we have access to all these barrels, they're sitting in our rick house, let's just be blenders of bourbons. So that was always the game, that was always the intention, until I think the nice thing about being a small operation in a small company, you can kind of hear what the consumer is saying. You can always pivot and you can always react really, really quickly. So they opened up their eyes into more cask finishings and kind of doing that route as well in addition, but they stayed true to their roots. And this is again like the 38th iteration, or 40th technically, but batch 30. And the nice thing about this batch that makes it a lot more unique, aside from the labeling being, ceremonious with America's 250th, we dialed up age statements. So if you ever look at past batches that we've ever done, you're looking at probably around like 5 or 6 of a minimum age statement, probably up to around like 13 or 14 years. Okay. So given where the industry is leading and given that there's a lot of glut and there's a lot of excess inventory, we've been able to dial up our age statements. So you're getting a little bit of an older whiskey than different iterations of this. So you're looking at between an 8 and 15-year-old blend of bourbons, just to be precise. So there's a 12-year-old Kentucky bourbon in there. It's going to be 9 and 10 Indiana bourbon. And then they're looking at 12 and 15-year-old Tennessee and 8-year-old Maryland. So those are all blended together. They come out to about 117 proof. And for what it's worth, I think I know there's a lot of like older age statements where you'd think it'd be really, really of a heavy whiskey. It's light and very sessionable, I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, it smells very floral. And just a heads up, Al's probably not going to be sipping much. He's a sick little puppy over there. So
no, I'm sorry, Al.
His whiskey
I came back from the parade deathly sick, man.
No.
I'm jealous right now, but
oh man, well, you have the goodies. You have the goodies this time, of course.
I do. I have them.
We had the samples sent. We can't even.
So he'll taste those and get back to us, but we're gonna have this sip, and then we'll come back to tasting notes. And I want to bring up somebody right now who was really, really supportive of what we were doing in the watch parties that we were throwing. So I came across a brand that was speaking my language. I saw a shirt that said Knicks in 26, and I was like, yo, someone that's as delusional as I am. Yes, I agree. Delusion is a beautiful color on me and everybody else. Let's rock this. So I started following him, just liked what he was doing. And then I told him about the watch parties, and he's like, bro, let me send one over to you. And, whatever you give out, you let me know. And I was like, well, give me a limit. He's like, no, man, just whatever you do, let me know. Like, was just mad supportive of it. So I love his story because he's had this brand before, the brand's called In My Lifetime, because he believed in his lifetime he was going to see a Knicks championship. But then he put out the shirt this year and said, bump that. This isn't in my lifetime. This is now. Like, now is the time. So he released those shirts. So I want to hear his favorite moment of the year, and also how it feels to actually have prophesied and spoken into existence that the good Lord looked at him and said, all right, I see you, Craig. You've suffered enough. I got you, bro, and brought it to fruition. So without further ado, this is Craig from In My Lifetime. What up, bro?
Hey, what's up, man?
How you doing?
Man. Yeah, you got me cheesing over here. I'm doing good. We up here in New York. You know what I'm saying? Queens, New York.
That's what's up,
man.
man. Money.
We still all kind of like drunk and high, man, off the Knicks, man. I mean, even at work, everywhere, everybody you see is blue and orange everywhere. It's a
That's
beautiful
what's up.
thing. Yeah,
I
it
love
is.
it. I love it.
Yeah. So, yeah, 14 years ago, back, the thought of the idea came in the 2012 season, back when Melo and Woodson and we had just beat Boston in the first round. And remember that year we won 50 wins, and
Yeah.
and then I remember sitting at work and I was like, wow, the Knicks actually might win in our life in my lifetime, right? I said it, because it was a lot of promise that year, and then
Yeah.
J.R. Smith butt-headed the guy, and then Melo should have beat Indiana and we lost, but that's when the thought came, and so then for like a year or two I trademarked the phrase, but I still didn't know what to do. And then eventually I ran into a graphic designer and he created that first Knicks logo.
Yeah.
And then I just started selling it from there because I felt like there was other people in my shoes that would
Yep.
love to see the Knicks win in my lifetime. So I felt
Yeah.
like if I sell enough shirts, if people can have enough positive energy, eventually things will change, right? And so fast forward to January, I had there was a Philly bus trip I scheduled. We had 150 fans go to Philly,
Oh, wow.
that January 24th game, and the Knicks won that game. And remember before that, we had a little losing streak before that. We
Yeah.
just beat Boston, but then that was a pivotal game because remember Philly was pretty good. But going to organizing the trip, I was like, I wanted to give everybody a shirt. And so I really believed that we should have won last year. And we don't have to go into it. I just feel like Tibbs was the reason why we didn't because he didn't play the bench enough.
Yep.
AKA Shamit. Anyway, and so um, I felt like this was the year. So back when at Phonetics Fest in June of 2025, when I was at Phonetics Fest, I just kind of screamed out to Stephen A. From the audience. I was like, you know what, we're gonna win it next year. Knicks in 26. That's when I first blurted it out. I was like, you know what, that rhymes. That has a nice thing to it. So I got a nice with a graphic designer. I was like, you know what, everybody on this trip is going to get a Knicks in 26 shirt. But knowing me, I was like, I got to buy more than I'll just buy extra and I'll sell the rest. So I bought 300 at the time. So 150 people got the shirt, then I had 150 to sell. And I just kept promoting it. Knicks in 26, Knicks in 26. Just keep pushing that energy going. And now we're here, man. Now we're here, and I've been through like 400 shirts already. People can't even get enough of them, man. It's crazy that because a lot of people who know my journey, they seen it. All regular seasons I was pushing Knicks in 26.
Yeah.
Now, as the playoffs, every win, I was more sales. Every win was more sales.
That's awesome.
The belief kept happening. Now it's a real thing, And I just didn't want to have egg on my face, right? You got these shirts, all the Nick haters, they would have been laughing at us. Oh, look what you with that Nick shirt, And even my best friend, who's a Nick hater, he was actually helping me sell the shirts because of that reason. Because he felt like, oh, if they don't happen, well, at least you need to try to sell them before the playoffs end. Like to get rid of them before, because he was because he wanted to rub it in our face. He wanted to say, oh, look at that shirt. And now this shirt is a beautiful thing. You can put it up on your wall, baby, because there's nothing that they can take away from us, And that's it, man. It's just passion, man. And I just felt like, putting my belief out there. It's crazy. We haven't won in 53 years. You got this man, Jalen Brunson, who's 6'2". All they do is badmouth from, oh, this one's a great defender. Yeah, everybody's a great defender. All this, all that. And he just goes out there and he wins. In the fourth quarter, he wins. We was down 29 in game 4, which was like one of the most amazing games that you could ever watch. Yes. And it's etched in our brain forever. What a time to be a Knicks fan, man. It's just a beautiful thing. So let's say moment. I would say the January 24th game. You know why?
Yeah, that had to be your favorite moment.
Because
sure.
I didn't want to lose that game, right? These people paid $250 to go on the trip. You had 150. I'm like, come on, at least give me this game. Come on, right? We're in Philly. Everybody's wearing Knicks in 26, and we won that game, and we kind of came back in that game too, just like we always do. You know what I'm saying? that was just the foreshadowing. I would say the second thing was the cup game because I was screaming when we won the cup. I was like, oh, this is just a preview for June. I kept screaming that in my videos and stuff. But it's just a beautiful thing, man. Thank you so much for allowing me to be on your platform, man, and join in with you guys. And this is awesome, man. I love it, man. It's just a beautiful thing, man. And
still time for people to buy it, right? People can still buy these.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. I just got a fresh batch, so now is the great time to buy because I got every size right now. Absolutely, 100%.
I love it.
And I got even more stuff coming in. This hat too is like very popular. The Knicks in 26 hat.
Yeah, that's fire.
Yeah, and I got it in orange and blue. That's very popular. I even got some the old school Knicks in my lifetime championship shirts coming out.
Nice.
That's just going to cap that. Just cap it. Just keep capping it, man.
I love it.
You know what I mean? You can't get enough. I tell everybody we need to wear Knicks merch every day, at least to the end of the year.
For a year straight.
Who cares, man?
There is no off season for us.
There's no off season, man.
No. You know what's great, Greg?
Well, we haven't been here, so we don't. There's no way to act.
That's true. You know what's great is you can say to your friend, all of the championship Spurs jerseys are the ones that missionaries are giving out to kids overseas. But my Knicks 26
right.
They're all getting flooded in the streets, and that's what matters.
Yeah,
so,
exactly. Because they wanted to see that video of me dropping them off in DR. Like, here's the free shirt, okay? Them haters was ready, man. They was ready, man. Like, look at all these shirts. How can he predict it? It's not even about predict. Just listen. I believe in it. So what?
I love it.
So what?
I love it. And you deserve all the success, Craig. I put the link for everybody to go and support you. Anytime you have something new, let us know. We love to push it, showcase it more.
I appreciate that.
You're killing it, man. Don't give
up.
Doubt,
man.
And start working on those Knicks in 27 shirts so we have them for
Absolutely. Absolutely. Running it back, baby. You think Jalen Brunson want to win one? Jalen Brunson was to go down in history, man. He's gonna be a legend, man. When they do the statue, y'all gotta come to New York, man, for the veiling, man.
Oh yes. We will be there, brother. I appreciate you.
No doubt,
nice
man.
meeting you, bro.
Nice meeting you too, man. Thanks a lot, man.
All right.
Dang, he really was. He really had his behind on the line, boy.
He made it up to you there, Phil. I don't know.
He was early. He was early on that, and he was making
a lot of people. Like, that's an investment. Putting out Knicks merch is not that big of an investment because we've always supported regardless. But Knicks merch that says this is the year, like anyone that buys it and then it's not, is like, dang, I don't want to wear that, so it's an investment from everybody that pulls out their wallet. So now there's that return on the investment where he's selling those shirts, and that gets me excited for him. So before we bring up our next guest, who isn't really a guest, he's family at this point. But we're going to talk about this pour. Did anyone have it? Did you have it, Apollo?
Yes, I did. I did have it.
What'd you think?
What was I going to say? I wrote it down actually. So I got like I always have a taste for the dark chocolate. For some reason I was getting like a dark chocolate in there.
Okay.
Like a dark chocolate kind of cookie. Of course you get your, it doesn't really drink like a 116. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit more balanced than normally, because you guys almost try to make me say the smooth word again. A little bit more balanced than you would expect for something to be a 116. But I really like it. It's definitely, like I said, it gives me that dark chocolate kind of cookie taste.
Yeah, no, I love it because there is hints of dark chocolate in there, and it's cool because this one's definitely more complex than the one we had on the last episode, the 037. I had about an ounce and a half, but each sip tasted different than the one before. Like, it just, even in that small time in the glass, listening to Craig, that pour evolved. So I do get some of those dark chocolates. I get a lot of black pepper. I get clove. I get leather, which is always a good thing. I get some honeys in there. A little bit of like black walnut bitters, which is delicious. and then like some sweetness, like a buttercream frosting type of thing on it. So I think this is a great pour. I think out of the, I think I've had probably 4 or 5 of the different 0.3 whatever batches or 0.2 whatever. This is probably my favorite.
You guys have some fine palates, because I have a little cheat sheet. I was like, let's see how much they really know with the tasting notes next to me. And Apollo, you're pretty much spot on with dark chocolate. And you said cookies. They say oatmeal raisin cookies. So let's just call that for what it is. And Phil, you said honey. They say Manuka honey. If I can pull off any difference between any different flavoring of honey, then I don't know. Honey is honey to me. But you also, I think early on you mentioned floral, and there's lavender and thyme that kind of come off on that as well. So I think you mentioned like nuts or walnuts or something as well. That's also in there. So you guys have distinguished palates.
Thank you.
That's why, this is why now Phil doesn't say what he's tasting first, because automatically that's what everybody else is going to start to taste. So now he waits to the end strategically so that we can get our opinions out and figure out if it matches what he's tasting.
I love it.
I love it. All right, so I'm saying goodnight to my boys real quick. I'm going to bring up a friend of ours, but before I do, here's some news. Breaking news from Stefan Bondi. And this is not necessarily the greatest of news. Heard that it's unlikely that Mitchell Robinson will be back with the Knicks next season. He's longest tenured Knick, but also an unrestricted free agent. Owner James Dolan said he's unwilling to pay into the second apron, so running it back with the bench is not feasible. So that's a little bit painful.
He's my neighbor. He's like a stone's throw away from my house, I found out.
What?
Yeah, so when I first moved, I live in Katona, New York. So here, and their practice facility is probably like 20 minutes south of me. And Mitchell, being like the country boy that he is, he wants a little bit more of like distance from kind of the grind of everything. And so like once I moved here, I'd see these big ass trucks driving by blasting country music, and I'd be like, who is that dude? Then I started piecing it together, and I started looking on social media. I was like, wait a second, that's the same truck. And he'd have 2 of them ride the orange and the blue one back and forth, and I'd always hear him from like a mile away, and I'd always look out, and I can see through like the trees and everything. So
that's hilarious.
Once they won the chip, I was like, I gotta find out where this dude lives. And he's honestly probably like a quarter mile down the road from me.
No way.
That's
gonna be sad that I'm never gonna be able to see and hear that music again.
Man. That's I mean, I kind of expected it, at this point. You know what I mean? So
me too.
It doesn't really hurt as much, but he stayed until the right time, man. He definitely gave us everything that he could, and I'm not mad at him, honestly, because he's got to go get his money. He's got to go get his money.
He's got to get his money, but also at the end of the day, it's like we also have never known how long he's going to stay healthy. So big contract, question mark. Maybe it worked itself out. I don't know. Obviously, I'm going to miss him because his presence defensively is ridiculous. But we'll see what Leon Rose does. What thing I can say is, we can trust in some of the decisions Leon Rose has made, and continues to make. But without further ado, I'm going to bring a friend up to the channel who has, really become like family. And I definitely want to hear his greatest memory from the regular season and how he's enjoyed being a champion. So without further ado, this is my guy, Tony Tone. What up, Tone?
Hey, what's going on, guys? How's it going tonight?
Good, bro. How are you?
I'm doing excellent.
Real talk.
I'm doing excellent.
Tone was good.
Yeah, I like that hat. I like that hat.
Yes, sir.
Bro.
Okay. So as I mentioned earlier on IG on the post communicating this event tonight, this podcast tonight, I was coming championship edition. So I came with the championship parade hat for you guys.
We got
I came, of course, glittered out.
Nice.
Got the champion shirt, so I'm ready.
Bro, mine still hasn't come in. It says it's not going to get here till end of July.
Yeah, same. I think
I ordered mine.
My hat is like August.
They didn't even get on stage yet, and I had already ordered mine. I still haven't got it yet.
I ordered it that
Oh,
night.
wow.
Like
Same.
as soon as the buzzer went, I hugged my
Mhm.
kid, hugged my wife, called my brother while pulling up the website.
Yep.
And same thing I
Exactly.
did for the finals, and I just got a cancellation email for my NBA finals hat. So yeah, it's crazy. So all right, so I will say this to you, Tone. You were asking about what people think about the championship other hat between the white and the blue that you got.
Oh yeah.
So here's why I like the white more. The one thing that you said you didn't like was no NBA logo on the back,
Exactly.
and then also on the side, it's got the Larry O'Brien.
Exactly.
So that's why I chose the white one over the blue one, was because of that. Even though I like the color of the blue one, I was like, man, you got to have something at least on the back or the side. So that's why I went with that one.
And yo, Tone, I saw your post earlier where you were opening up a package. I think it was your hat.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help but notice that you had a bottle of Barrel Bourbon craft spirits in the background. So I'm like, are you joining us for
a
for
baby
today?
Yeah.
All right.
I came ready tonight for the festivities. I wasn't
Let's
able to get the
go.
batch that you guys were sipping on tonight. However, after an extensive and exhaustive search, I was able to come up with this. So
Which one did
Oh,
you get?
man, good looks.
this is Dovetail.
Yeah,
Okay,
so
nice.
he got the regular dovetail. That
Yeah.
I told him we would be drinking the toasted so that he can join us while having the dovetail and enjoying it. Because he texted me, he's like, I want to join you on a sip. I was like, bet. And then no one had the new 038. So I was like, you won't find toasted, but if you can find dovetail, go that route. And so he sent me a picture. I was like, yo, that's dope. So I'm looking forward to sharing that with him.
Love it.
So
Joe.
So real quick before I go to you on the question, Tone, Danny said, do you think we sign Mitch? We can't lose him. So Danny, right before you got here, Stephen Bondi actually just made a post that it looks unrealistic and not probable for the New York Knicks to re-sign Mitchell Robinson. I'm hoping he's wrong. Stefan's a good reporter, but unless it comes from the source, I'm not gonna fully buy in. If Ian Begley would have posted that quote, I would have been like, oh, Mitch is gone, guys, live on the air, he's gone. But it's still someone else besides Ian, so there's still some hope out there. But Tone, we threw it around, we kicked it in conversation. Even if we didn't win the chip, was there a moment in the season that you can recall that was like your highlight moment, certain game, certain thing that a player did, certain thing that you saw happen from these New York Knicks that made you go, this is still going to always be memorable, even if we didn't win the chip?
Yeah. So my highlight, and this is towards the middle of the playoffs, was against Philadelphia 76ers. And it's the man of the hour that we're actually speaking of, Mitchell Robinson, when he totally annihilated Joel Embiid with that inbounds play from Jalen Brunson, and he just demolished him, bro. I just thought, to me, that was the epitome of redemption. So I was looking at the redemption from what Embiid did to Robinson a couple of years back and causing that injury to him, and then I look at just the redemption of overall. It was a little beforehand, but us just winning the championship and getting the cup this year. So to me, that was my most exciting, I would say. Of course, that's behind OG Anunoby's tip-in. I mean, I think all Knicks fans around the world are going to rejoice anytime they think about OG Anunoby and that end-of-game tip-in. So that's absolutely, basically, number one. But that Mitch Robinson dunk, oh my goodness, that was just nasty. And I don't know if you guys noticed as well, one other thing, Embiid tried to actually take out Robinson's leg on that play at the end of the play. I'm not sure if you guys caught that, but it was a beautiful thing to see. Just him and his face, that just his that's how Embiid looked when he got this yammed on. So it was beautiful.
Yeah, he definitely tried to fall back onto his leg for sure.
Yeah,
I saw him. I was looking at that. I'm like, yo, this guy is just dirty, bro.
Dirty.
Yeah, no, I agree. And what? One thing that's crazy is like New York Knicks merch has been throwing up all over our house. My son just came in. He just came home, and I put their championship shirts with the Bart
Oh,
Simpson on it that they just got in today.
nice.
So he's like, Dad, it came in. I was like, I know, I put it on your desk. I put it on your bed. I'm the only one that's here. But it looks awesome, bud. I love it. You like it? Awesome. All right, love you, baby. Tell Miles I love him. All right, so since we won the chip, Tone, how you been feeling? Like, for me, it's like it's got me on this excitement, but also like man, it's so crazy how like literal a championship is a New York minute, because within a few days of the parade, it's the draft. It's talking about who's going to be there, who's not going to be. And it's like, man, 53 years of waiting, it's happened. And I feel like the organization is already moving on, and like the fans are trying to catch up. Like, no, we're wearing merch all summer. What are you talking about? Like, and so trying to ride that wave. So how have you been feeling since we won the chip?
I've been feeling wonderful, man. And to that point, we have the whole summer. We have the whole summer to rock this Knicks merch, to bask in the glory of a championship. It's been, as you said, 50 plus years of waiting. So I think it's, it's totally fair for us to, have this level of elation, at least for the next few months. It is the job of the organization to look forward and, get this right for next season. So that's just how the business works. But as far as me personally, man, I'm so hyped, man. I'm just trying to continue to dive into the different changes that's going on. As you just had some news that posted quick tonight about Mitch Rob trying to stay atop of all the different changes that may be to our roster for next season, and what new additions or what Leon Rose is going to be cooking up. So it's just so many things to kind of look into and delve into. And as far as being a content creator, that's what really where my focus is at. What can I look into? What can I dive into? And what can we talk about and get ready for the next season?
Yeah. Yeah. And what's crazy is like, it is the front office's, job to move on. But it's also hard because we don't want to miss, what's happening as well, because it's like, okay, well, we did have the draft. Are these players substituting for someone we already love? We just bought a shirt from so-and-so. We just, had this person's jersey get a finals patch put on it. Are they not going to be there? It's a lot of questions up in the air right now that makes you have to like second guess and question and figure out like, okay, what team do we have next year? Like, who's going to be there? Who's not? And so there's a lot that we're going to talk about in a little bit. In about 6 minutes, our guy Benji's going to come up, and then we have one more guest after that. And then we're going to go straight into what we're seeing when it comes to the draft and the rumors of players, because it can really change the trajectory of things. And some of it can actually be really, really exciting. Like when you see what could be, it makes you go, okay, that's not exactly what we were expecting, but this could actually fare in our benefit, And so it's all walking it out and trying to feel what we all think about certain things. One thing I will say is shout out to OG Anunoby getting his signature sneaker with Skechers. If they look anything like the ones he wore on the court, purchase. And then same thing with Jose Alvarado catching the deal with And One. If they look anything like the white ones he wore on the court, purchase. It's just going to be one of those anniversary gifts. So I'm hoping they don't drop them till like September so that I can replenish my Knicks funding account. But let's go into this next pour. And we're going to do the dovetail. And I want it to be the dovetail because Tone's here. And I want Tone to experience regular dovetail as we experience toasted dovetail. So this one I'm excited about because I enjoy regular dovetail. And so this one is 23.8 proof, finished in rum, port, and Dun Vineyards Cabernet barrels. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what Dun Vineyards is, but it's Cabernet barrels and port barrels. So I'm excited for this one.
Yeah, this goes back to another conversation that we had, Phil, where you were like, I need to get myself that toasted dovetail, because I know you were a fan of dovetail originally, right? Yeah. And fate would have it, you got yourself a bottle. So Yeah, a late belated happy birthday to you for that one.
Yes.
But yeah, the toasted. I'll start on the dovetail because they obviously are the same thing. It just has a little extra maturation. So, does anybody know what like a dovetail is? Or
No.
what it isn't? So it's more for like woodworking. So a master craftsman in woodworking, the true sign of how they were would be how they would make a dovetail. So it's basically interlocking pieces of wood that would harmoniously fit. So if you look at like a crate of wine, if you ever go into like a liquor store and the crates of wine are always stacked up, they're always kind of woven in with like their ends kind of together. So that's essentially a dovetail. So they're kind of like these little, blocks kind of locked in together. So kind of with that harmonious text of it all, that's what this is. Because when you kind of look at this whiskey, it's going to be like, okay, how does a rum, how does a port, and how does a Cabernet fit together? And it all just smooths effortlessly over. And to kind of add into it, you look at the Dun Vineyards Cabernet. Dun Vineyards, it's a biodynamic organic vineyard out in Napa Valley, one of kind of the more legendary winemakers that started out in California. So they are kind of true to what winemaking really is to be, but I think more so it's what you're going to get is like a true essence of a Cabernet. And so you're going to get a lot of like fruitiness, you're going to get a lot of like creaminess from that. And then when you look, so that's dovetail in itself. The toasted dovetail is taking that product, aging it up to 33 months. So this is getting dumped into barrels for another 30 months of time. So this drinks more like a rum to me. I think the rum kind of shines out more than anything. And then that port and the cab kind of give it that extra sweetness and a little extra fruitiness to it. This is like drinking dovetail. So Tony, I think like if you take that dovetail and you dump like a stick of butter into it, that's what I think the toasted dovetail kind of equates to. It's just insanely creamy. There's a lot more like accentuating flavor points that come off of it, but the dovetail in itself is great also. So, yeah.
Cheers. So since Tone came with the champion merch, I had to go change into a champion shirt. So shout out to, once again, this is my same guy, Mr. Heat Check. So got to support Heat Check. Finally got one of my hats in.
On the nose, this smells creamy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can kind of smell like the buttery.
Yeah. You can smell that right off the top.
Yeah, this whiskey is the truth. There's no denying that. It's 124 proof.
Shout out to the 237 of you that are rocking with us right now. We appreciate you guys joining us on the season finale episode of this season's Knicks Nightcap. You will see us here and there throughout the off season talking about crazy things amongst the KOT chat. But this is the last actual one that we have. One thing I'm gonna promote while my guy Tone is here. I won't be doing it on this channel. I will be doing it on my regular personal channel. But myself, Tone, and Nick Loyalty, who's been in the chat before, and another brother who's gonna be I believe joining us within the next 20 minutes. We're actually going to do a series for about 4 weeks called on Faith and Fandom, and just talking about like what we learned, when it comes to this Knicks championship, about us as people that are believers in faith, those of us that are in community, and how this Knicks championship can kind of grow us and challenge us. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be 4 weeks of us chopping it up about different topics. So if you guys want to, it's youtube.com/Phil Porto, and we'll break that down next week. Like I said, everyone here at the Nick of Time, everyone's got their own beliefs, their own, way of life, and we support that. We believe in every single person that's on here. So I respectfully am doing it on my channel with like-minded brothers to kind of just talk about the topics that we felt like we wanted to talk about. So that will be possibly next week, either Tuesday or Thursday. We'll announce it officially on my Instagram and Twitter by Saturday. Salute to Benji Kleiner. Benji, you got the link still? Let me know if you need the link. I will send it to you. Benji's going to be our next guest to talk about his favorite moment of the season, and also talk about like how it feels to be a Knicks fan. If you guys don't know who Benji is, you're slacking. Benji is a Knicks OG fan, and he's got these videos that he does after every single game. It's his walk home, and
When
he
he's
just
walking out. Yeah.
yeah, he just talks about his walk from the garden or the bar or wherever he watched the game, and he just talks to you about exactly what he's feeling in the moment. It's like it's like when a couple, as a wedding photographer, a couple is the most elated and has the most to say or feel on a wedding day as soon as they kiss the bride, kiss the groom, and they're announced husband and wife. They walk from the aisle to where they're going. That's the most like gleeful, real moment that you get as a wedding photographer of that couple. And that's like Benji's walk home. He's like bride, groom, cheerful or upset, whichever one the Knicks made him do that day. But that walk home will give you the most real and authentic moments of how a Knicks fan felt about that game that just finished. So I love Benji's walk home. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring up Mr. Benji Kleiner. What up, Benji?
What's up, boys?
Yo.
Hey, Phil. Hey,
Nice
how you doing,
to meet you.
guys? Yeah, great to meet you, Al. What's up, Apollo?
Nice to meet you, man.
Brett and Tone. Yo, needless to say, Phil, you're gonna hit me up next season. I know it's a long ways away, and you're gonna come in, and we're gonna make a plan. You're gonna join me for a game next season.
Oh man, I would love that. That would be a blessing. I'd love to do a walk home with Tone. Me and you on the phone, just chopping it up. I'd love it.
All right, so we'll line that up for sure. Word is bond. But yeah, man, I'm feeling amazing. Obviously it feels like we just went through something really, really magical, and now like we have a little bit of calm to process it all. The draft was pretty uneventful, even though it had to happen and it was key for us. But I'm happy. Look, Tyler and Nickel could be exciting. And then after summer league, because we're gonna have a nice little chance to hopefully see some of these guys, see the German kid play, maybe get some DOR action, knowing that we're committing to him longer term. But after that, after we get through like mid-July, then that's really when it's gonna hit, when it's like the silence of the NBA free agency calms down. So man, I'm feeling amazing, man. And honestly, the biggest things for me as I look back on the season is seeing some of the low points of the year. Like a couple games come to mind, like the game against Cleveland on the road. I think it was one of those really low point Cat games where he took like 5 or 6 shots and wasn't involved in the offense.
Was that when they first got Harden?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, I think he broke his hand in that game, but but it was just a really bad game. Like the Knicks looked unfocused, like the defense wasn't there. Cat was discombobulated, as Clyde says, and it was just a really bad game. And then a couple games as well, early March, the Clippers on the road and the Lakers on the road. Those were some of the lower points of the season. So just to think that we somehow willed ourselves out of those moments, on the player level. Obviously, Cat. There's no bigger fan of Cat, and I like to say in the world than myself. I love the guy, I love the player, I love the person, and he went through so much, man. And the fact that most of the time when you say something about a player, it's like, oh, that guy is that way, that guy's not a winner. Like most of the time, it's not like your perception is not going to necessarily change, especially after a guy's been in the league for 10, 11 seasons like Cat has. So to have that type of turnaround for him and for him to change the way that he played, as we saw, I mean, it's just amazing, man. And also, I mean, one of the things that doesn't get talked about with Cat is he's been really durable as a Knick, man. 72 games last season, 75 this past season, and then obviously the postseason durability. So he's been amazing, man, and I can't wait to lock him up long term. Hopefully 4 years. Hopefully he takes a discount to help all of our guys fit into the puzzle here. But what's amazing is most of the time the draft. I'm curious to hear what you guys think, but the draft is all about like this. We need the draft because we need to we need to make a change. We're desperate. But now it's like we're kind of like we just need to preserve greatness, which is like a different approach. So man, I can't believe what we've gone through. I can't believe how special. It feels like life has been made to this point, and it's like whatever happens now is just a bonus. But
House money, man.
house money. So
You know what's crazy? Because I as someone who knows you and follows you and like has seen your support with Cat, like for me, the most frustrating thing was that I had wanted Cat here for so long. And then I feel like when he got here, it just didn't come to fruition. You know, I was like, what is happening? Like, what? I wanted this, and this isn't how I thought it was going to be when he got here. And so to see how a little bit of change, and, you know, one thing I had said at the end of last season was that I felt like our team was capped because Karl Anthony Towns was still going to be played exactly the way Karl Anthony Towns was played in years past under Tom Thibodeau. Like there was nothing different that we were going to see out of Cat. And a good friend of mine, Phil Seeger, huge Minnesota fan, lives out there, has a distillery out there. He was talking early in the season when he was on the show and he was starting to see the changes with Cat. He's like, man, as a player who has loved Cat since he, came into the league and watched him season after season ticket holder, he's like, I'm so excited to see that the player that all of us thought that he could possibly be is actually who he's becoming under Mike Brown. And he was like, because we all thought that there was something else, but he was always coached the exact same way. And he kept hitting a ceiling. And so for me, when he hit that ceiling and had that loss of identity, I was just like, oh man, this is going to be bad. And it actually ended up being the most beautiful thing to see a player go, I'm not who I was anymore. I don't know who I am. And then made a choice to pivot and become exactly who we needed him to be. And so I was talking to Phil today and he's like, bro, I'm so happy for you. Like you're celebrating and you get to do it with the Cat that I always dreamed that I'd be able to watch. So I love it. I love how loyal you were in that whole time when I was like, if he doesn't change, trade him. And Benji's like, shut up, calm down. You know, like that was Benji's talk to everyone, was like, chill the frig out. It's going to happen. And Benji was right. So I love how loyal you were through all of that, man. And you're right. You know, it's like when it dies down, we had, my guy Craig on earlier and his clothing company In My Lifetime because he wanted to see a chip in his lifetime. And now all of us have, some of us after a very, very long time. It's like, what does fandom look like next year? I've never gone into a season after experiencing victory, how do you start a season that way? And so, like you said, the draft seems to be okay, even in who we drafted, and we're going to talk about it a little bit later when we talk about the draft stuff, it seems like they're choosing players that can plug and play if certain players don't come back so that we keep the same kind of skill sets and same kind of talent level to who those players are that might not be able to come back. So I love that. So Benji, what any really dope plans for the summer? Like, when it comes to fandom or just anything that you're like, okay, we won, now this.
No, man, I think I'm just like, like everybody else, man. I think like best case scenario, we can keep everybody except for Clarkson. Because I think I have to think that there's no possible way we can bring every single player back. I think like the CBA is designed that you can't retain everybody. Yep. So we're going to have to lose somebody, maybe two players. So best case, right, we lose Clarkson because you could say even though Clarkson made this really great transformation, I think Al was talking about it, to becoming this like unselfish team player that we never thought he could be. We could he wasn't pivotal enough that we can't replace him with another like savvy vet that's out there on the market. I don't know who that might be. So I think it's really important that we keep. I think Jose Alvarado is going to be back. I mean, I think that's right. I would be shocked if he somehow is not back with this team. So we retained Diawara, who actually Diawara was a guy that I thought was going to get an offer sheet because I thought there was going to be one of those nerdy GMs out there that was sitting up in a suite, for like Orlando or Atlanta and being like, oh, we need to find that Diawara and I'm going to sign him to an offer sheet. Yeah. So I thought it was something like that. And then that way we couldn't keep him, but that was a great way to kind of keep him in the fold early on, really before free agency gets going. So the Shamet thing is really intriguing because you're seeing him like on podcasts and stuff and really embrace New York, and I think he loves it here. But I don't
he loves
really.
New York.
He loves New York, right? And he's comfortable here. And we also did great by him, right? Like when he separated his shoulder last season, we could have easily, we kept him in the plans, even though his contract was non-guaranteed. So I think he might feel some level of like debt to us that we like gave him the opportunity. That being said, if another team comes with a really compelling offer, given he's coming off a veteran's minimum the last 2 seasons, I don't see how he can turn it down. So Shaman and Mitch obviously are the biggest wild cards. I mean, I don't know what you guys think about Mark Williams getting a 3-year, $38 million deal from Phoenix. If that somehow sets the market in any way, I know they're different players, but does that mean that Mitch should be more willing to accept something like that we can pay him like 3 or 4 years, 15, 16 million per, even though he's coming off 15 million per? So yeah, I mean, Mitch would be great to keep just because I feel like he's more valuable to us than other teams. And then I would say the last priority in the sense of, because he's under contract, is getting Cat extended so he can hopefully retire Nick. Might be a little early, but 4 years, maybe something like 250 million, takes like a $20 to $25 million discount. And that way, we kind of keep him in the fold and get rid of any like free agency anxiety when his player options comes up the year after this upcoming one, and then next summer we can focus on giving Jalen Brunson anything he wants, and maybe looking at extending Hart and making some other decisions. So I think we're in a great position. We have a GM that along with Brock Eiler, capologist, and Walt Perrin, these guys seem to have an acute understanding of the salary cap and how everything needs to work. And I don't think there's a stat or way to keep track of this, but the number of trades that we made on draft night is like crazy. There's no way to really understand it. It's almost like not real. So there's some savvy transactions going on behind the scenes, and we ended up seemingly with a couple good draft picks. I don't know. I don't pretend to know much about college basketball or really follow it, but I think Tyler Nickel, as far as what the scouting looks like, he looks like he could be like a Sam Hauser type. So I think we have an amazing foundation, and it's just about kind of trying to keep some of those fringe parts in the mix. And given how Mike Brown coaches this team, we know that you guys were talking about before, but Mo Diawara started 6 games this past season. Kolek started a game. These guys, I think Diawara played 69 games. Kolek played 62 games. So these guys got an opportunity throughout the season. And even though they weren't there really or in the rotation when we were making our playoff run and championship run, they still were an integral part of the journey because their ability to be involved and be a part of the team on the road to the playoffs, like inevitably it kept our players fresher. It kept our team closer, as opposed to like Tibbs, where you have like a DeLon Wright or Shaman, even in some cases, basically like not at all playing. And so when it came time for those guys' number to be called in the playoffs, they were a little rustier. The team didn't feel as much together, but this was just the consummate team on every level, not only on the court, off the court. You see how close they are. You got Tyler Kolek dancing on the float at the championship parade. I did my best to try to make it to the parade, guys. I was there, but I could not get anywhere. But I'm just proud of this team, and it's just amazing how everybody walks around New York now, like with a certain swagger, and like we're the standard, man. I keep saying that we're the standard. So
I love it, and I agree. I think that there's enough trust in our front office to know whatever changes have to be made will be made, and that it's not going to affect much. Stefan Bondi did talk about how it looks like Mitch is not going to resign. I'm not going to take it as gospel truth until I see it from Ian Begley himself. But even if Mitch wasn't to sign, I know we're going to figure something out. And same with Deuce. Deuce is probably not here for the long term, so that's money that can be moved. And we have options. It's fun to actually be in a season where we say we have options. we won a championship and we have options. Those words never really came out of my mouth. And we can say that we won a championship. Well, Randall comes to play in Brooklyn, like it all comes back for us in the end. But Benji, I appreciate you so much, man. We will be talking draft a little bit later. If you decide you do want to come back up and talk draft, platforms open to you, same link. But let everyone know where they can find and support you.
Thanks, man. Thanks again, Phil. I'm at Benji Kleiner, BenjiKleiner. I've been to 125 of the last 148 home games. I was at 43 of 49 this past season. The only game I missed was Game 3 of the NBA Finals in the playoffs because, I had to. Benji's got to eat, and I knew I was going to be at Game 4, and I knew I was going to be at Game 6 if there was one. There wasn't one. My brother was waiting in LA for Game 6. There wasn't one, but yeah, man, check me out on Instagram and Twitter. I'll be walking. Phil, we're going to line it up for next season again.
Heck yeah.
Come find me in section 105, row 17, seats 11 and 12. You know where to find me with a double can of Stella. Pre-game official beer, the championship New York Knickerbockers.
So Benji, are you the reason why we didn't win Game 3?
I mean, I started to feel that way when I was at Game 4 down 29. I started to think that I somehow messed up the energy. Thankfully, they bailed me out. Last question for you guys. I'm gonna pose this because I've said this before, and some people have. I know this isn't relevant now. In my mind, Karl Anthony Towns is a Hall of Famer. I'm curious what you guys think. I think he is one based on the precedent set, and I think he's got another 4 or 5 good seasons left. Hopefully he retires a Knick, and yeah, man, that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I agree. I think even before he won a championship, being the best big man in the league, and doing what he did previously, I think he makes Hall of Fame. Looking at some of the players that have made the Hall of Fame didn't have his accolades, previously, and now he evolved completely as a player. Went from defensive liability game 1 of a season to elite defender, stopping Victor Wembanyama, who everyone thought was the next generation, talent to win in the finals. And all that was lockdown defense from Cat. So you got to give it to him. The evolution of this season alone is Hall of Fame status. So yes.
Love it, guys. Well, thank you, man.
Thank you, Benji. Appreciate you.
Thanks for stopping through, Benji.
All right, thanks, guys.
We have one more guest that I'm bringing up, and he's actually one of the ones that I was telling you that me, Tone, and a few guys are going to have that sideshow talking about some, pretty deep topics. But I found him through Instagram. I know Knicks Twitter is a big thing for a lot of us. But as someone who is an MC and has done music for years, the things that always pop up on my search are Knicks, hip hop, and whiskey. And all of a sudden, this guy came up, and it was like he's spitting bars about each and every single game of the playoffs. And they weren't like, I'm going to be honest, all right? I know we're all from New York, but just because you're from New York and you wear the orange and blue does not mean a microphone or a studio should be in your sight. Like, there's a lot of people coming out with songs, and I'm just like, if one person rhymes with ditch and Mitch one more time, or someone says, and then I'm going to drop a deuce, and I'm like, yo, stop. Like, what is going on? That is not emceeing.
Pain.
Don't do this. So I was skeptical when I saw the orange and blue and a microphone. I'm like, all right, I'm going to give it a go. And I was like, looking for my wife to be like, he can actually rap. He can, but she wasn't here. So I just had to rewatch it. And so when I saw it, I was like, all right, I'm going to play this on the show. And then I hit him up. I was like, all right, I also want you to come on and kind of talk about your experience in the finals, but also what you, consider your highlight moment of the season. So I'm going to play this video real quick of one of his videos from the game after. and you guys can see what I'm talking about when I say he can actually spit. So he goes by Architect. So Architect, his name's Amir, and boy can spit. So here we go. Boom, boom, boom. That's the wrong video. I'll play that later. Oh, hold on. All right. Put the volume all the way up.
You know the sun don't shine forever, but the Knicks is still here, so New York is gonna shine together. Better now than never. The rest was thinking they clever. Even Avengers lost, they came back even better. 13 wins straight, but the energy off. I always bet on the Knicks, but game 3 was a loss. See, Trump was in the building and our betting was raw. He was sleeping on the Knicks and the Avengers was lost. Lost in game 3, the city feeling heat. This a dream and a nightmare. The city was feeling meek. Took a day to ourselves. Game 4, we about to eat. This a brand new day. Seen the trailer about to leak. Game 4, first quarter. The Spurs taking the lead. He said he was in our head, but who dream about Wemby? People said that it was over. I told them to take heed. We was down 29. The last quarter, we take lead. Jesus died for my sins, but the Knicks died in the first half. This nerd ass got to resurrect them. Let the hurt pass. Brunson with the missed shot, but OG with the putback. I look past anybody doubting my drive and book cabs. OG had to get in. Thank God for the tip in. Now listen, there's no pause bigger than God's vision. It's written. After 53 years, complete the mission. Watching my city heal. Watching just what we getting. Sermons through the sports. God said it's to get back. To have a comeback means you have to go through a setback. What's a breakthrough without a breakdown? See, we the best at. The Spurs need an Oscar for really being the best at. Knicks in 5 is no surprise. The city alive. We had to watch all die to appreciate that prize. Now the city revived. A new meaning and kind. The way we always survive. Is God giving us light, and if I die in the Knicks jersey, I come back to life. It's 3-1 in the series, but it is Knicks in 5. Oh my gosh, man, we about to see them win a chip.
So he prophesied it, in that song, drop bars, and he said, "Yo, it's Knicks in 5." Like I know we all knew it, but some of us don't have a track that like people can hit that receipt if we didn't get it in 5 and be like, "Hey, you remember this song you dropped? You spent all that time memorizing it." How many? Yeah. So anyway, without further ado, this is Amir, Architect, coming up to the stage. What up, bro? How's it going?
Yo, welcome, bro. Welcome.
Yo, what's good? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, yeah. Can you hear us?
Loud and clear.
Yeah. How y'all feeling, man? I appreciate y'all reaching out, bro. I appreciate you showing the video and whatnot. Yeah, man, bro. Like a lot of people don't realize I've been doing like written freestyle drops every Friday for 4.5 years on social media. And it's like, like whatever my mood is in that moment is what I want to talk about. So all playoffs, like I'm just talking about the Knicks, and it's almost like a time capsule of like where I was at in the moment during certain games and whatnot.
Yeah, I love that. You know what's cool is like I can write something, but I can't memorize it as quick as you did. Like I need like I'm at that old age now where it's like if it has to come out immediately, I'm just like, no, let's not do it because my memory doesn't do it anymore. They release an anthem and someone's like, "Yo, just record something. You got like a month to do it." I'm like, "Bet, I got it." And they're like, "Hey, you got to record a video for it tomorrow morning." I'm like, "Bet, find somebody else." So I applaud you for being able to not only write, record, but also get it out immediately because that was crazy turnaround.
Bro, I'm gonna tell you the secret, bro, is you keep it short. So like the freestyles are only like a minute and a half, and so it's like whenever I'm writing it, like even tonight, I gotta drop one tomorrow that I gotta finish writing tonight for like a good hour or two. I'm just going over that verse, and so it's like I don't need to remember everything for the rest of my life. I just need to remember it for at least 2 minutes so I can lock in and get that recorded.
That makes sense. Like for me, I was a recording artist for a while, so it was like I had to memorize every single song for like, okay, how long am I going to perform this? So it's like now my mind only thinks in longevity. Like it's a hard time being like I have a teleprompter and I'm like I can't rap fast enough or slow enough to the teleprompter speed, so it's always all over the place. I just gave it up. So, but anyway, bro, love it. So what we were talking about was getting different fans' favorite moment in the season, whether we won a chip or not. What was a certain moment in the season where you were like, I was going to remember this regardless of whether this was a chip year or not?
Oh man, bro, there's so many to name. Of course, the game four, the legendary game four. Like, I I realized, like in hindsight, because I rewatched that game, and it's like it's even better. This is the only time I've ever rewatched the game, like in modern era. You know what I mean? Like I've watched like the older Bulls games and whatnot, but like to watch something that I just saw a week ago.
Yeah.
And I rewatched that game and I realized like I was so mad the first half. Like if you look at my IG, because I was posting nonstop like while I was happening. My IG stories, I was pissed. I was like, yo, what are we doing here, bro? Like if we gonna take an L, we not supposed to take it like this, bro. Like I remember just getting so upset. But then somewhere around the halftime when we started to come back, it's like, nah, I'm still not giving up. All right, okay, we doing it. Oh wow, we really about to come back. And then when we finally like just took the dub that day, like I'll never forget that moment. Like I remember running outside. I was at a bar in Town Square, and I remember just running outside with homies, and we just all yelling collectively, "Yo, we did it! Yo, yo!" Like we losing our minds. I'm talking about. I'm hugging people I've never met in my life.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like I told the story where on my social media that on my way home that day, I run into like these two like older white gentlemen, and they got Knicks jerseys on. I got a Knicks jersey on. They looking at me. They just go, "Yo, we did it!" So we dapping each other up, hugging, and then bro just start bawling, like I'm talking like Tyrese. I just want my baby boo hooing, like I'm talking FaceTime boo hooing.
Baby mama balling.
Yeah, and he's like that hugging me at the same time, and it's like it go from being like I felt the excitement to now feeling like, hey, bro, whatever you going through, I see you really put a lot into like you watching this game, and it meant something. So now I'm getting emotional. I saw, yo, word is bond, bro. I ain't never had that happen to me. Like I'm born and raised in New York, from Harlem, New York. I've never just randomly hugged a stranger and cried before in my life. Only the mighty Knicks can have me do that.
That's crazy.
You know what's crazy, man? Is we all know that fourth quarter feeling. Like whether you're in New York, whether you're here, wherever you're living now, if you're a Knicks fan and you watch that game, you know that moment. You know, so like me and Al were hosting a watch party, and the watch party was quiet. Like you could hear a pin drop. Like it was just eerie, like very horror movie type quiet. Like everyone's just looking at each other, like with each shot, like, dang, bro. And something happened. Me and my wife and my kids, we end up leaving. We go home, and we get home, you know, right when the third quarter's starting. And I'm just feeling like, frick, man, the night hasn't gone the way I wanted. This game hasn't gone the way I wanted. And my boys were like, Dad, stop. Like, we could still do this. And I'm like, yo, my 8-year-old and my 5-year-old are like speaking life into me. Like, this is crazy, you know? And they were like, Dad, you always said that if we can get it to 15, the Knicks won't lose if we're in, less in 15 or less going into the fourth. And they were like, just watch. It's going to get less than 15. And I just want to be like, boys, just go to bed. It's late, like, let's just call it a day. But I'm like, all right, we're watching it. And all of a sudden, thing after thing starts to change. And we're under 15 going into the fourth. And my boys looked at me. They were like, under 15. I was like, yo, this is crazy. So like those moments like will stick with all of us forever. So I agree with you there.
So many people was that the bar was at. So many people was feeling dreary. I saw like some of the homies I was with was like, yo, let me just close out now so I could leave. And I'm like, nah, bro. And specifically, I remembered, I think it was when we were going up against Cleveland, I think it was, or I think it was Cleveland, when we was down by like 20 as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
I remember like that game, I was telling people, I was like, yo, don't doubt the Knicks. And my homeboy, he brought some girl, I guess he was talking to, and she's just in hater mode. It might have been the Philly one. I can't remember. Either the Philly or the Cavs one. But Shorty was just like, nah, y'all about to lose. Y'all bums, da-da-da. And I'm losing my mind because I'm like, Shorty, why are you in the city? If you not from here, you said. If you hating on New York like this, you don't got to be here. You don't got to be in my ear. Go talk to my homeboy. Like, you his lady.
Not the right time to be here with all that.
Yeah. But I told them, I said, yo, watch my Knicks come back. And I'm looking, even the bartender was like, I don't know about that, honey. And then when we came back, when I say I was bragging at everybody's face, and so now fast forward to that legendary game 4 when it was dreary and everyone was like, "Yo, I'm gonna close out." I'm looking at the same homies who was with me, and I'm like, "Bro, y'all remember before? I'm telling y'all, don't count them out. Fourth
Yeah.
quarter." And they came back, and we saw magic. That for a lot of people I've spoke to, they said like in person, like live, that's one of the greatest games I've ever witnessed. You know what I mean? Like it almost because I was a kid back when like the Jordan. I'm 37 now. I was a kid when like the Jordan era was like really popping. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So like I remember watching them games, but I don't have like a vivid
Yeah.
memory of it. So it's like for me, this playoffs was that like seeing the Knicks, a team I've been rooting for since I was a child. Bro, my favorite color orange, man. That's how New York Nick I am, bro. Like I always joked around and said, "Yo, the Lord can't call me home until I see a Knicks championship." And
Bro.
all my friends would be like, "Hey, bro, you trying to live forever?" Nah, I knew it was going to happen. That's what it was, bro. Y'all don't see. Look.
I
You
love
gotta
that it's
have
not just
faith.
I love that it's not just me because my wife would make fun of me at first when we first got together because I'd always be like if it was a Knicks game, we'd be praying over dinner and I'd be like, and Lord, let the Knicks get a W, and they'd be like, come on, like you putting that in your prayer? I'm like, hey,
Nah, bro.
give the Lord all the desires of your heart. That's the desire of my heart.
Yo, one of the funniest things that happened, like ever since once we came back from that game 4, everyone like that I knew, we were, you know how like when you dap each other up and y'all going home or something, you be like, all right, bro, one, yo, safety. We wasn't
Yeah.
saying that. We was dapping each other up like, all right, bro, Knicks and foul. Like that became the new. That became. I went to somebody's church and they said that. They said in Jesus' precious name, Knicks and five. I said, I don't know. I don't know about that one, but
Hey, I'm totally for it, bro. I'm totally for it. I love it. All right, so you just dropped the project of your freestyles, right?
yeah.
Okay, so everyone can go check that out. What else can people look for from you right now?
Well, it's so crazy. I've since the pandemic, I've kind of started a series just about like mental health. You know what I
Okay,
mean? Like I somehow, I guess, going through certain mental health things allowed me to be more aware of my personal mental health. And so it's like I developed a series from that. The first one was it was the EP called "Depression Is Real." Then I dropped a following up EP called "Happiness Is Real." And then the current project that I'm working on is going to be an album called "Healing Is Real." And
nice.
just it just speaks on healing. Thank you. And I've been working on that for a while, mainly because I ain't gonna hold you. Life been life. There's a lot of things. Even like now, I still gotta take care of and whatnot. But uh, something always told me that God was telling me, "Hey, the album not done yet because you have to witness more things and experience more things that you have to speak on." And like as an artist, they can get annoying. It's like, man, I'm trying to drop this project. I'm ready to work on the next stuff. Da da da, boom boom boom. Um, but something told me like once we got into the Eastern Conference Finals, yeah, once we got to the Eastern Conference Finals, something told me, yo, start to put together a mixtape just about like the Knicks and just like what you feeling in this moment. And even if I swear to everything, because it was so risky, because it's like, yo, they could lose. You know what I mean? And now I'm spending time, effort, energy, money, all that working on the project that I probably wouldn't have dropped because it makes no sense. I'm talking about, yo, the Knicks won, and if we lost, you know, my bad. And so just the next project now is, like I said, going to be called Healing Is Real. And as much as like this mixtape was like, I tried to be in my lyrical bag as anytime I'm writing. The next project still definitely going to be very lyrical, but it's more song structured. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
want to, as much as I love, and I could pen out a great verse. You know what I mean? You give me a deadline, you give me an instrumental I can rock with. I know I can lock in and do that. But I do want to make just like good music that still is true to who I am as an artist and a creative. And all the time, my message is like to help people. You know what I mean? Like I ain't trying to. I ain't never shot nobody. I ain't never done none of that. So like, I'm not gonna speak on that. I was that nice young man who walked an elderly woman across the street if she needed help. if I went to the deli and let's say I owed $2, I'd be like, all right, I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna go pay that $2 just because you know how my parents raised me, and
Yeah,
you know my faith is a big part of that. So
I
to
love it.
be able to combine who I am and infuse the Knicks in that felt great. But because it is a mixtape, you know, that's why like it's not on streaming and whatnot. But
Yeah, yeah,
the next album will be, and I'm super excited for that. You know.
I love it. Well, I'm looking
Dope.
forward to me, you, Tone, and a few others chopping it up about Knicks fandom and faith in the next few weeks. So I'll be reaching
I'm
out
with it,
to you.
man.
But I appreciate you, Amir. Seriously, keep killing it, bro. Thank you so much, and let's look
Thank you,
forward to
man.
it, listen, bro.
Yo, nice
Thank you
meeting you,
so
man.
much, man.
Nice to meet you,
Nice to
Yo,
bro.
meet you, my
pleasure,
brother.
pleasure, man. Y'all, I would love if y'all all could support the project. You know, not only just like stream it, but I think it's up there for like 5. It really do go a long way. Y'all know how it is as independent artists.
Yep.
You know, you gotta spend money to make money. You feel what I'm
Yes, sir.
saying? So
I got
I
you.
I
just posted
appreciate
the link
y'all.
for everybody to support and follow.
Thank y'all so much, man. I
You're welcome.
appreciate y'all, yo. Hey, we
Have a
still
good night.
saying the Knicks in 5. You heard?
Knicks
Big
and five.
five.
Knicks at 5. Exactly.
I love it. All right, shout out to Amir, architect. That was great to have him up here. All right, guys, what are your thoughts on this dovetail?
Oh, I gotta sip it again.
I can't taste nothing, man. I can't taste
Oh,
nothing.
no.
Wow.
Save
I
it,
feel
Al.
bad,
Save
bro. Save it.
I
save it.
tried.
I did.
tried.
So
I
I
got
did
the, I
write a
got the
note
nose
down.
palate. That was it.
Mhm.
I did write a note down. I do have like it's either like a almond or macadamia I'm getting out of it. It's kind of like a more macadamia in a way. For some reason, I'm getting like a macadamia nut kind of tasting it.
All right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know you can't taste anything, Al. What do you think of the pour that you got? Tone?
Yeah. No, it's pretty good. Yeah, I was. It's so. I know the naughty word here is smooth, so I kind of learned that early on. But I would say that it hits. So if you don't mind, I just want to share here the proof. So it's 125.42 proof. So it's a heavy hitter.
It's beefy.
Yeah, big time. And 62.71% alcohol by volume.
Yeah.
So
Tone.
yeah, go ahead. Yes.
How familiar are you with drinking whiskey?
Not overly. I try to learn from you guys by watching the show, honestly.
All right. So I want you to take another pour.
Okay.
But
Yes.
completely take a big breath before you do.
Okay.
And exhale completely, like no air in your lungs whatsoever. This is something that like I've experienced, and my guy Shane always teaches this when he does like whiskey tastings as well. And you got to get all the air completely out of your lungs to help with that burn. Like you're gonna get the flavors and not the burn if you completely exhale all the air from your system before you take a sip. So do that and let me know if you see any difference.
Yeah, and it takes a bit to adjust to something like you're looking at something that's 125.
It's still a higher proof. Yeah.
Right.
So
The first sip is always going to burn, and then your palate adjusts. And your palate, I mean, in the sense that like your palate is a muscle, like technically you can train your palate like physically to get stronger, but then the palate is also muscle for tasting. So if I always say it's like if you're sitting at home, and if you're cooking dinner, for example, and you're making, I don't know, pasta with like fresh herbs or like oregano or basil, and like sometimes like you just have to take time and just like taste the herb or taste ingredients or dried ingredients, and that's what helped me really understand tasting notes and appreciating whiskey more than I ever have, is when like you sit and you taste things that are in your cupboard that you wouldn't necessarily try on its own.
Like some time or something like that.
Yeah, so just take a little dab of little things here and there, and then you figure it out, and then you're like, oh wait, that reminds me of XYZ or something like that. But Bill is right. You gotta let everything out of the system, and then it takes it. Like that's a lot of alcohol. So
and the first sip is also rough, and then the second sip is a little bit easier, and the same with the third or whatever. So you might have to take a little bit.
Al, when you do taste it. Some of the things I'm getting, obviously it's a toasted, so you get that burnt marshmallow that you love from a toasted. You get that sweetness there. The nut that I got was like a toasted pecan. And then you get that like brown sugar. You get light tobacco. There's some kind of fruit in there. It's like could be like a stone fruit, something like that. But you get like little hints of different things that pair really well together. It's weird because even though it's a rum finish, I feel like it tastes kind of like some brandy's taste, the sweetness of a brandy. It's crazy how like a wine finish, rum finish can give you like taste of a brandy, but it just does. So it's great. It's the perfect balance to me of like toasted, oaky, notes that you love, but sweet, so it packs a punch, but it also packs a lot of sweetness in there as well. So yeah, I love this. This is a win. This is a win-win for me.
Well, this stuff got me sweating, guys. I don't even know. That 125, I had to turn the air conditioner on right quick.
Don't be shy to proof it down. Add a little water in there. You get a little
add a drop of water.
Yes, that's the key.
All right. All right. So
do people really do that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could add a drop of water.
Yeah,
and it changes the flavor profile by doing that.
It does. Yeah, don't never be shy to add water. I know it's purists will always kind of like turn their nose up, but drink however you want to drink, right? Like you'll appreciate different avenues. If it's even in a cocktail, you'll appreciate it differently in a cocktail. If you want to have it on the rocks, you'll appreciate it differently on the rocks. So that's kind of the beauty of stuff that are at such a high cast strength caliber is that there's so many different ways to appreciate it. So I always say don't hesitate, don't be shy, do your own thing.
Okay.
Hey, shout out to Ken Sean said Knicks Bahamas. Let's go. Let's go. Appreciate you rocking with us right now. We got 282 of you rocking with us. If you're not on YouTube, do us a favor. Head on over to the YouTube. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. We would love to continue to build with you guys. Before we go into the next pour, let's talk a little bit about the draft. We hit Wemby with coconuts.
That's funny.
Yo, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
You ain't gonna miss. He's mad tall. There's no way you can miss.
Yo, I love that. All right, so guys, we got some we got some draft talk to talk about. Obviously, there's rumors of who will or will not still be a Knick. The first one, and we don't need to go in depth with this. I'm just going to say what I think, and you guys tell me if you think similar or if you disagree and you think that it's not going to be the case. But I think from what we're seeing, I think that we did see Miles McBride last days in a Knicks uniform. I think that when it comes to freeing up money, his is a contract that we can move off of instead of letting it expire and then letting him go next year. I don't think that is truly the wisest thing for the front office to do. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that Miles McBride is still going to be here next year?
No, I don't think so. Personally, I mean, they're pinching pennies at this point. Yeah, so I would not be surprised if Deuce is gone just for, even if it's just for cash considerations or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't know what they're thinking because Brock Eiler knows how to crunch these numbers in a way that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
I don't think that Deuce is going to be here past the next couple of weeks. I don't personally.
Okay. What do you think, Al?
Yeah, I don't think he will either. I think the key is finding a team that values him and is going to extend him, right? Like we're not just gonna kick him to the curb and trade him, somewhere where he's gonna fizzle out, because that's just not the way that this front office treats players.
Yep.
So we got to find a team that, on top of the team being able to extend him, I think the Knicks just want. I don't even know if the Knicks really are going to trade him for like a player in return. I think they just want to dump off the salary and maybe take back a pick. Unless, that's the only thing that I see. Because what player are we going to get back that's going to be playable at that dollar amount? There's far and few between, and if they are playable, the likelihood of that team wanting to trade that player is highly unlikely, right? So
Yeah.
I don't even think we're gonna get a player back from him. I think it's just gonna end up being some sort of salary dump, and we just get like a second round pick. Again, we seem to be racking up the second round picks right now, or maybe it's just cash considerations.
Yeah. What's your thought on that, Tone?
And I just want to say, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I'm okay
Same.
with losing Deuce. I think we proved that we can win without him. He didn't really show up in the finals. He didn't show up for most of the playoffs. He had a couple of bright moments in the playoffs, but even in playoffs past, he didn't really show up. So I'm okay with that. I think I always said that like he was a little bit redundant, like playing alongside Shaman and another point guard. And if he can't play point guard, if he can't handle the rock, then we don't really need a 6-foot 3-and-D shooting guard, right? Like for that's you see we just drafted the kid Nickel. He's 6'6" sniper. Like he's gonna be a 3-and-D guy. Like that's the size you need to be when you're gonna be 3-and-D, not 6'2". So he fits better alongside like a big point guard. Like a Luka, or he could probably fit well in Denver since Jokic runs point a lot. Like he'll fit good in those types of scenarios.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard at 4.3 million. It's like the only thing you can think to do is like package him and Dadier, and see if there's a player, like a Day'Ron Sharp, as a backup, center, since he makes like 6 next year. That would be the only like logical thing that helps us if Mitch walks, package those two and see if the Nets will take him. He's played with Julius Randle. Maybe that gives, Julius a familiar face to like go into Brooklyn with. But what are your thoughts, Tone? You think we'll see Deuce?
Yeah, no, I agree with everything you and Al just said. I think cash considerations or some type of salary dump is going to be the result for Deuce next season. It's just the money is not adding up, and as Al just said, I mean, I literally agree with everything you just said. I mean, as far as his production in the finals, it was super mid. So that's not worth that salary,
if that.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
The other part about it is like he does deserve to get paid, right? Like he's a good regular season player. He's a valuable player. He's not a bad player at all. I just don't think he's a great fit for our team, right? Like he's just a little bit of a clumsy fit. I think he'll be a better fit elsewhere. And he does deserve to get paid. It's just the way our books are structured. I don't think we should allocate the little money we have to Deuce. I don't think it would be smart.
It's an Emmanuel Quickly situation all over again. Emmanuel was a good backup, but didn't perform in the playoffs. When you don't come through in the playoffs with the things that we needed in the playoffs, which is playmaking and being able to create your own shot, it shows that the limitations that were there since day one are still there, unfortunately. And those are what we need, with someone off the bench. Like you said, he fits perfect with a team that has someone else being their star that runs the point. Jokic doesn't need the guard to be able to create his own shot. He finds the shot for them.
He's part of the reason that we went out and got Jose Alvarado, because Leon knew that he wouldn't be able to handle the backup point guard duties, and he realized that we needed a backup ball handler, and that's been the knock on him since he got to New York, and he hasn't been able to hone up that skill. So it is what it is.
And I would just quickly add in, injury prone. He's been very injury prone. He's been in and out of the lineup throughout the season. So again, another reason to move on.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go into this last pour as we talk about the draft. I just want to show what this pour is. This is the Decade 2. All right. This is aged 20 years at 141.3 proof. So, Tone.
141, Tone.
That's crazy. Yeah, y'all got me beat.
141.
Finished
All right now.
in Spanish brandy and Hungarian oak casks. So,
I love things that are finished in Hungarian oak. I don't know why, but whatever flavor profile that produces, I like it.
It's the perfect wood. I mean, you're on with that, Al. It's like if American oak had a baby with European oak and just blended together, and it has all the best traits out of both of those styles of wood. But to kind of back up the decade, so this is the second, and you guys are I think you guys are literally the first people to get these. I don't even have my sample bottle. I get mine on Monday, so I think you're like legitimately.
Mine looks like this.
Yeah, it's better than what I have, so I don't have anything. But this is decade 2. Last year we released decade 1, and this was the #1 selling whiskey in the summer, over $89.99 on a shelf. So everything above that shelf price, this is the best selling whiskey of the year in the summer. So we re-released it. So Tony, it's called a hazmat. So anything over 140 proof, you can't bring on an airplane because it's so highly flammable. So
No way.
you can't bring anything hazmat oriented onto an airplane, and that includes 140 proof whiskey or any spirit 140 proof.
And we're about to drink this right now.
On the street, man, people go crazy over it. It's really hard to make, to get to such a high caliber alcohol level and to have it a quality to it. It's people go but it's like people can't want what they can't have, and that it doesn't exist a lot in the market. So people seek it, they want it, they gobble it up. So but really cool concept with what they did with this. So it's called Decade because it's a single barrel from 1995 all the way up to 2005. So it starts at 20-year-old, goes all the way up to 30-year-old. So 1995, 96, 97, all the way up to 2005. There's a single barrel from those years, and those are all blended and finished and then blended. So some are finished in that Hungarian oak, and then some are finished in the Spanish brandy cask. And I mean, this is, if you can fight through the pain and appreciate it, it is a beautiful, beautiful whiskey.
Hey, I love pain because this to me is smooth. In Apollo's words, this is smooth.
Yeah,
this is not my word. Okay, this is not my word anymore. I've put those ways behind me, and I'm moving forward. Okay?
I love it. All right, so real quick, Apollo's got to go, so I'm going to let him sip on this while we talk draft. I'm also going to bring someone backstage that joined the open panel. We got Sharif in the back. I'm going to have Sharif also join in and talk about this right here. What up, Sharif?
Good evening, guys. How are you doing today?
Good,
man,
how are you?
I tell you what, I'm great, man. Listen, like I said in the back, first of all, great to be on with you guys. I'm from Bahamas. I've been a Knicks fan. My birthday was 2 days ago. I mean, what, like Father's Day, like what gift? Nothing can exceed it, right? Like, so, and it's just, oh man. But looking forward, and I appreciate you guys' knowledge about the second apron, and looking forward, because I was just pulling up the summer league roster, and there's only 2 shooting guards. I think Campbell and another dude, McCullough. But I really have faith in Nickel being ready to play. I think you need to fill out 10 man on the roster according to Spotrac, and then you need 4 players to complete. And then if all of those could be minimum or rookie second round minimum, and we're talking about like staying under the second apron. If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, and if that's the case, then what I really want for me, I want to see Tyler Coley get the true opportunity to work on bringing the ball up without it being stolen, because I think that was the threat for him, and so they brought in Alvarado in game 4, because I think Coley can do that for us. I wonder how you guys is feeling about that.
Yeah, no, I think that's a great segue. because the main thing when it comes to Tyler Kolek is we talked about this earlier in the season. You can pretty much really call this Tyler Kolek's rookie season, like, because under Tibbs he didn't really play. We had a great facilitator off the bench that we could not see him get minutes. Like, he only got garbage time minutes when Tibbs was there. So this was his first actual chance to show himself as a, rookie in the NBA. And the development we saw from him was crazy. Like, yes, there were still limitations going into the finals, going into the playoffs. That makes sense, for a player that is getting his first, legs under him as an NBA player. And that's why they brought in Alvarado. But what we also saw was how to figure out how to pair a guard that isn't a great defender with a guard that is a great defender. We saw that with Jalen Brunson and Jose Alvarado in the finals. We never would have saw that with Tibbs last year. So now we know that with Alvarado and Kolek minutes can actually happen in unison. Like, they can actually happen next season. And you know that Tyler Kolek, because he is a sponge, and everything he soaked up about, his offensive game, besides his facilitating, came from him studying Brunson. So you know that he's going to study Alvarado in the same way, because he's a true student of the game. And that's one of Tyler Kolek's strong suits, is that he's hungry. He's not complacent. Like, he wants to get better. And so I think we'll see that going through. And then when it comes to the money, a lot of people were like, why the Knicks keep doing this? They draft a player to get rid of them. Then they all the way back into the second part of the draft. Well, because that's exactly what you were saying. We want to get contracts that players might not have gotten, so that whatever we offer them is going to work, or whatever.
Whoa, we lost Bill. Sharif, I was going to say, I noticed that during the season too, and I think we had a couple of episodes here where we at least I know I mentioned it. I noticed Tyler Kolek when he played up against certain teams, like who gave him a lot of trouble? I think maybe Detroit or Golden State. I think Golden State gave him a lot of trouble when he was bringing the ball up. That is something that he needs to work on, and that is why we got Alvarado, because look at the amount of pressure that San Antonio put on us in the finals, bringing the ball up. Yep. And that was one of the concerns with Tyler Kolek. So he definitely needs to work on that this summer. But I do think I feel better about him, going into this summer than last summer. Last summer, I didn't think I was worried that he might not even be an NBA player. But now I do think that he is an NBA player. I think he showed a little bit more on the defensive end this year as well, which was a big concern. I think his shooting got a lot better this year. His little floaters and all that kind of stuff, and finishing at the rim also got a lot better. That could continue to improve too. That's another area that he needs to continue to improve in. But I do think we'll see a lot of minutes from Tyler this upcoming season. Alvarado, he tends to get injured here and there too. So Tyler Kolek is going to get his moment to shine this upcoming season. So he has to be ready. And I think he'll show out. I think he's gonna be good this upcoming year.
Yeah. And so what I was saying about the draft though is the contracts that we got, they don't hurt us financially. Like with the players that we're trying to keep, like Alvarado and possibly Shamet or Clarkson, or if Mitch is willing to take at least a little bit of a cut, we still need every penny that we can get. So some of those drafts that we actually had at the end of the first round would have pushed our cap, and we wouldn't have been able to finagle the little pennies here and there. So that's why we kept trading on back, because we honestly don't need it, because we're a championship level team already, and we're trying to keep that championship level. So since guys like Diawara was a rookie, he's going to see more time next year. Tyler Kolek was technically a rookie this year, so he's going to see more time next year. So we're trying to keep what we have going, not build for the future. So there was no need to stay closer up in the draft. But the guy I want to talk about before I throw it to Apollo before he has to go is this guy right here, because I think, to me, this was our best draft pick last night, and we'll start winding down after we talk about this guy. But I feel like the Tyler Nickel signing was genius. Like, this guy is an absolute sharpshooter. And when we're talking about Tyler Kolek, this is the kind of guy you want to see minutes with Tyler Kolek, because when you watch his highlights that we're about to show, you see that people always find him the rock at the right time. So he's a 6'8" forward, and he finished his career with Vanderbilt, and he averaged 13.5 points per game as a senior, 40% from three. That's crazy. Like, that's the kind of thing that we want. And he's 6'7". So I know there's still speculation on whether or not Landry Shamet's going to come back. But when you look at this player play, his game is very similar to Shamet's offensively, but a lot more elite defensively. And he's 2 inches taller than Shamet. So if we lose Shamet because of money, this is a possible plug and play kind of player. So let's watch this highlight real quick. And I'm going to do no volume so we don't get flagged. Actually, I don't care.
This is Nickel. This is Nickel, right?
It's Nickel.
Yeah, the dude's a sniper, bro. He's a sniper.
Like, he can shoot.
Sniper gang.
And what is amazing is how he can catch and shoot off of curls. He's like Reggie Miller, bro.
Yeah. He's a great shooter. And he can also facilitate, like, I was trying to watch multiple highlight videos to see, like, okay, where's his true weakness? But I didn't see it. Like,
and he got a quick release too.
Yeah, like a Steph Curry type release.
No, you know what it is? I think I see a lot of Klay Thompson in this kid.
Yeah.
Play word.
How he spots up before he shoots.
Yeah.
The way he sets his feet, he reminds me a lot of how Klay Thompson gets ready for the ball. He's about to, take a 3-pointer.
I just don't.
He's making those from NBA free too.
You don't? What'd you say?
The only difference is his defense. Like,
the defense, yeah.
It's not showing it in this
I see a little Mike Miller in him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a nice comparison too. Yeah.
And he doesn't look afraid of the moment, which is obviously, you got to see if it transpires into the NBA. But so,
man, this kid, man,
he can play. And if you look at, like, his defensive highlights, block after block after block in the paint. And so I feel like he could be a really good plug and play. And this is the last picture I'll show. And then we'll talk about what we think of that draft signing. But I saw this and I completely agree. Nickel and dimes.
I was just about to say that.
There you go.
That's a perfect pairing. Like, you want a guy that the defense has to, like, chase down, who can still see the whole court while he's being chased down. And that's what Tyler Kolek does great. So anytime that he catches a double, Nickel's going to be open. So I'm looking forward to it. What are you guys' thoughts on the draft? And then we'll end with the tasting notes on this and call it a night so everyone can go to sleep.
I'll jump in on the draft. I think I think it was clear we didn't want to allocate any first round money to the books.
Yep.
So the cap gymnastics that we did to get out of the first round, but also add second round picks
and cash
amazing.
Considerations.
Yeah, like, I think we did a great job, doing maneuvering through those things. And then actually getting a couple good players. Like, I think the kid from Germany, he looks pretty good. He's a 20-year-old kid, so he can still develop. But he has, like, all the tools. He has all the tools that you need. He's 6'4", almost 6'5". He has bounce. He has range. The only thing is, like, when I see him shoot, he looks like he's shooting some bad shots and he's leaning a lot when he shoots. So he probably needs to, work on that a little bit. But he's a young kid. Those things are easy to fix. his form isn't broken or anything like that. He has good handle. He can pass the rock. So I think he looks like he could be a contributor, man, in a few years. And maybe picking that guy, I don't know, maybe that lights a fire under Tyler Kolek too for this season. So that could be good for us too. But I think we did a great job. We got some extra picks. Remember, we lost so many picks because of the Mikel trade. So now we're trying to get some picks back in our pocket, right? So I think they've been doing a little bit of damage control with that. And look, we've been doing a good job of finding talent in the second round. And the second round picks are valuable because, if you strike out on them, there's no damage to your books. But if you strike out on the first round pick, they're on your books. So you're kind of stuck with them. So, and if you hit a home run with the second round pick, then, you could sign them for the low and you got somebody like, producing more than what their contract is worth. So I like the approach that we've been taking with the second round. And I think you're going to see more teams start to focus on second round like we have been. So I think we did a great job. I give us a solid B plus, A minus. I like what we did.
No, I think that's great. Like I haven't seen any of like Jack's defensive capabilities or limitations in any of the videos that I've watched. But he's 20 years old, and one thing he said was like, I'm eager to learn. Jalen Brunson.
Is Phil there?
Jalen Brunson, came from, the second round. I'm coming from the second round. What can I learn from him? What can I, gain as someone who loves to compete and loves to win and loves to, fight, and that's what we want. He'll probably spend most of his time in Westchester, and that's fine. Yeah. But it gives us possibilities for the future. He said he doesn't want to go back to Germany. He wants to play here. He wants to learn, the Knicks way of playing basketball. And so that's always great. You never want to draft somebody that's like, I want to play right now. Like if that late in the draft, you're like, slow down, Chachi. You were in the second round for a reason. Like, calm down. So I think they both have.
I want to ask.
Yeah.
I want to ask the panel, because let's say we're moving forward, right? We've evaded the second apron. Now we have to me, I think Josh Hart can give you more in finishing to bring up his points per game. Now, if we go the way we're going, which is fill out the roster with potential rookies who are ready to play now or two-way guys who are ready to play now, then you have to ask Anunoby to give you at least 3 more points per game. You're going to have to ask Josh to finish more at the rim instead of being a facilitator. So basically, you're going to have to ask the starting 5. You're going to have to ask them to get more. And our bench is probably going to be, instead of having 9 to 11, our bench is probably going to be 8 to 9 guys who you can rely on for 82 games. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I think this, you're gonna see these guys hit another gear this upcoming regular season. I think the amount of chemistry that they developed during this playoff run, I think everyone knows their role now and is ready to execute their role to the 10th degree. So like I think you can see another 3 points per game from OG Anunoby. I think you can. Right. You're probably gonna see a better regular season from,
right, because it ain't no Mitch, no
Mikel
Shamet. Right, it's no Shamet, no Mitch. It's no. I think McBride would stay because of his contract. But if you think about Mitch and Shamet going,
I think these guys are gonna take another step this upcoming season.
Yeah, you gotta have to.
Here's the thing. Here's what I'd say. I think they will, but even if they don't, I don't think that we're going to be in a deficit. And the reason I say that is Diawara now has his feet under him. And you saw what he was able to do, still learning how to, be an NBA player. Now he's got chemistry with these guys. Now he's going into a whole off season with these guys.
Yeah,
you're going to see a lot more from Kolek. You're going to see a lot more from Diawara. You're going to see a lot more from Alvarado, because you got to realize Alvarado came into the season pretty freaking late. So like he's going to come in and there's going to be that chemistry already. And whoever we get to like replace Mitch, I love Mitch, but Mitch wasn't there to give us extra points. Mitch was there to be a defensive mastermind. Matter of fact, whenever there was a hack a Mitch situation, he actually cost us points. So you get a backup, center, whoever that is, if Mitch walks, and the chances are they're going to be able to give you more points than Mitchell Robinson was offensively. Like, will they be the defensive capabilities of Mitch? No, but they're going to be better offensively. And then even if you plug in this nickel guy, he can score. Like, I know he can score straight off the bat. Like, I would be completely shocked to see him get like an NBA minute and not be able to pull off something that can make up the 3 or 4 or 5, 6 points that we need here and there. So I don't think we're going to be at a deficit at all.
Yo, Apollo has to run.
All right, Apollo.
I kind of agree because
Hold on one sec, Sharif. Hold on. Apollo, what'd you think?
My bad. I got an on call for work, so I gotta go to work. But what did I write down? My brain's all over the place right now. I wrote down burn my lips. That's
That was the best tasting note I've ever heard.
That was, I kid you not, right here. I burned my lips. But then after the second and third tasting, because I had to wait for it to stop burning me, I was getting like dark brown sugar-ish kind of tasting notes. Of course, I still got that dark chocolate. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's me or something like that, but I keep
the dark chocolates.
You know what I mean? So I keep getting that dark chocolate note, but I'm getting more of like a dark brown sugar kind of taste to it as well. But that's it. After the burn, it faded away. It's actually not as bad as I thought it was gonna be for a
Yeah, I didn't think the burn was that bad. I think it probably drank similar to the dovetail toasted in terms of burn.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yeah,
my lips burned. Yeah, I don't know what it was. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe your lips are chapped.
Maybe my lips are chapped. Yeah.
Oh man.
You know, but fellas,
all right. Be safe, Apollo.
Yeah, Apollo. Be well, bro.
Brett, thank you, man. Tony.
Good to see you again, brother.
All right, man. Take care.
All right, man. Phil,
Later, bro.
I love you, bro. I see
Love
you guys.
you, bro. Be safe. Yeah, this pour was delicious. I love. To me, this doesn't even drink like a hazmat. I've had some hazmats that I'm just like, man. All right, I feel like if I can say I can tell it's a hazmat, it's going to be hard to share with somebody else. This, to me, I don't feel like it drinks like a hazmat. If you told me this was like 120, I would believe it. Like, I feel like, it's got the spice is definitely there. But you also get, different things. You get like, I'm getting some like brandied cherries. I'm getting vanilla, some raisin. So like, you get the oak for sure. That's definitely there. But yeah, he was talking about chocolate, and he loves when he finds chocolate notes, but there is like hints of like cocoa powder, in this as well. I think it's absolutely delicious. I think this is an absolute banger by you guys.
Yeah, my palate is all messed up, but I definitely could taste the brandy influence in it.
Yeah.
It's good for you, right? I think when you're sick, you make a little hot toddy out of it.
Let me have a
I love it. All right, Tone, I'm gonna let you talk about what you think about the draft, and then we'll let everybody know where to follow everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll keep it quick. So basically, long story short, financial responsibility is the word that comes to mind when I think about what the Knicks did during this draft. As you all just previously talked about, the books, we can only keep so many guys. And based on the piece that they picked, I haven't had an opportunity to take a look at Nichols yet. However, just seeing the video that you saw and hearing a couple of things here and there, they're preparing for the future. So, and that's the second part. So financial responsibility and also simultaneously preparing for the future. Even though we moved back, we retained a number of second round picks. That's still an infrastructure for the future. So that's my takeaway.
I love it. All right, guys. So I'm gonna play a video in a second, but Tone, let everyone know where they can follow and support you.
Oh yes, absolutely. At Tony Tone 5 on Instagram, and then Tony Tone's Real Talk on Facebook. Check me out, y'all. Also, please check out this link. I'm linked on my page. There's a article by Lee Escobedo. He did a writing on myself. And if you would like to know a little bit more about me and how I came into content creation, please click the link on my page, that article by Lee Escobedo. Please also subscribe to his Substack. That's my little plug for Lee.
Yes, I love it. I love it. All right, so thank you to the 305 of us that are still of you that are still rocking with us right now. Sharif, where can everybody find and support you, including myself?
Well, I'm not a content creator. I love the Knicks. You know, it's amazing that Patrick Ewing got technically got a championship for being working with the Senators all year long, but that's all I am. I'm just a great fan. I love everything, man.
Well, thank you, Sharif.
I'm in the Bahamas. I've been living here all my life, and I'm representing with the New York Knicks fans here, man.
I love it. I love it.
Right,
Well, next time
Bahamas
me and wifey go
represent.
to the Bahamas, we're definitely getting what is it? Stronger for longer with Sharif. That's what that drink's called, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You and I, we're gonna get
Yep.
that. So
They
I
they
appreciate you.
they listen, man. They got the worm in the whiskey over here.
Oh man. Well, we're gonna hang out, Sharif, when I get out there. Do me a favor. Try to find me on Facebook or Instagram. I'd love to keep in touch with you, bro. Like, it's been a pleasure. Brett, let everyone know where they can follow, support what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean Barrel Bourbon. Don't forget the double L in there. It's I always say it's for love, but it's strictly just for marketing. But yeah, barrelbourbon.com. You can go check us out. There's a bunch of stuff. We're constantly releasing new items. So there's something out there for everybody. It's just a matter of finding that right fit. If you miss out on something, there's something coming down the pipeline immediately after. So you can go to barrelbourbon.com. They have a bunch of social channels, so you can follow any which way, shape, or form. Personally, me, I don't have anything to follow, so you can just log in here and appreciate me on the next tape every once in a while.
Let's go.
I love it. I love it. All right, Al, let everyone know where they can follow you before I share this video and call it a night.
Yo, before anything, I just want to say thank you to the panel. Tone, thank you for coming through. Sharif, thank you for coming through. Brett, thank you so much for the pours. I promise you, and Phil can attest to this, I will enjoy these once I get better. I can't wait to try them when I'm all better, because I had a few sips, but I couldn't really appreciate them. So I will do them justice another time. But thank you so much. I appreciate you sending those.
Of course.
You can follow me on Twitter and on Instagram. Al from Harlem on both sites. I'm active on both of them. Been a little bit more active lately on Instagram, but I'm active on both. And I'm also here on the Nick of Time YouTube channel. I have two different shows. I do this show, the Knicks Nightcap, and I also do Nick Life Crisis. We will be doing a show, I believe, this Sunday. I think we're going to target this Sunday. And that's a show with two 40-year-old dudes that had a lot of Knicks PTSD. I think we're now cured of Knicks PTSD, and we also are new dads. So we talk about the trials and tribulations and the joys and the funny moments of dad life and Knicks fandom. So we'd like to have a lot of fun on that show. So definitely check us out. And then I'm also on sprinkled around, some of the other shows that the Nick of Time does. So you could catch me on those as well.
Yes. And reminder, Tony Tone, as well as Architect Amir, myself, and Nick Loyalty will be doing Of Faith and Fandom, the Knicks Championship run, starting either Tuesday or Thursday next week on my channel, youtube.com/Phil Porto. 1L, because there's no love at the end there. Nice. But I do want to play this video because I feel like it's the perfect way to sum up a championship run for our New York Knicks because it shares exactly what this team was like and exactly what I hope continues to be the DNA of this team. So I'm going to play this video real quick. Possibly. All right, let's see.
Is like has dealt with their fair share and level of like being written off. Everyone talked about him. I think what I was so proud of this year to the nth degree, and like Kel, we all saw him in tears moving, like what he had to like endure this year, the last couple of years, the scrutiny, he's not worth it, X, Y, and Z, like, and he showed up when we needed him in the most tremendous ways. Like, so seeing that, like knowing what he's been through, that's just one guy. Jalen, obviously, he's not a 1A and the whole thing. And you can go down the line, like everyone, like Cat's not good enough to be our second option on a championship team. And Josh is Josh and like everyone, you know? And so I think to add to your point, it's like, there's that level of it too. Like, okay, like that wasn't new to us, basically. The media, that what you're saying to me, you think you're better than me. Like you guys think that this was all you and we have nothing to do with it and we're not good enough. And yet, like, all right, like we've been hearing that all year and for our whole lives, you know? So I think that was what was like really, really cool about how we did it, how every game really we dug ourselves in the hole. Every game it was like each game was a written testimony of our whole like life progression to get to that point. Everybody in our group.
I love the fact that our team is full of fighters. I love the fact that New York has continued to stick by its team, and we continue to, overcome. And so to anyone that's watching, I don't know what your life is like. I don't know what you're going through, but I feel like that was a great way to end the season and the episode is that regardless of what people say, you can overcome it. Like you don't have to be what other people, talk to you or perceive you to be. Like you can rewrite that story. So I love that, interview by Shamit. I love the fact that Mikhail is able to say, hey, I was worth those picks. I love that Karl Anthony Towns was to say, you wanted to trade me, yet you wouldn't have won the finals without me. Jalen Brunson having to say, I don't need to talk about the people that didn't believe in me because I'm celebrating now. I think it's a beautiful story, and I'm glad that we all got to enjoy this together on this season of the Knicks Nightcap. It's been one of those crazy roller coasters throughout the season, but it's allowed me and my guy Apollo to continue to build, me to really just like get to know and build like this crazy ridiculous friendship with Al and his family, which I absolutely freaking love. Meet guys like Tone and be able to say, holy crap, this guy's got something and we're going to see it continue to develop, and meet guys like Brett that not only know whiskey, but he's got the right hat on. And, so there's the extra L for that, there's the extra L for you. That love is there. So thank you to the 315 of you that are still rocking with us tonight at 10:35 in the evening. We hope you guys have a great night. If you drank, please do us a favor, drink responsibly. And until next time, next season, God bless, and let's go Knicks. Knicks in 27. All right.
Yes,
Okay.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot on my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up. Only thing changed was the game. I'm in the zone now. Nothing can change what we on now. When I pull up, know it's going down. Foot on the gas, ain't no slow